will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
Hitting the button. Oh my God, can anybody hear the button? Yay. All right, we are at episode 28, and we are not managed by anyone. We are freeballing it all night, letting everything hang loose. Jack is away on personal assignment. I believe he's, well, I can't think of any funny joke for Jack at the moment. He's just
being arrested for wrong think.
Exactly. He's enduring the UK and all of its glory at the moment. So we wish Jack nothing but the best. Professor is actually out again. Well, the cunt change didn't quite take, so he's still working it out, and he should be back again next week, or maybe not. We'll just kind of see how it goes with that. Hopefully when he does come back, he may have a whole new set of pronouns. We've been talking about this. We don't know exactly which direction he's going yet, but we will see where they, them, he, she, her, professor goes. Let's see, who else do we got? God, everybody's messing. Nem is taking a little personal time creatively to work on some music. We give Nemesis all the respect he deserves, because he is an artist and he deserves no mockery whatsoever. So good luck, Nemesis, and we hope you come back soon. Vagabond's he's out being fucking Vagabond and seeing Megadeth and All That Remains, and living the life that all of the rest of us wish we only had. So I am joined by a very special guest co-host tonight. Somebody I've wanted on the show for a long time, and this just kind of happened to work out. Battsauce, what is going on, man?
Hey.
Tell everybody who you are and why you're here.
Yeah. Well, first off, I'm glad that the first thing you thought of me was a psychopath to represent me.
Yes, he's tired of being mistaken for a sociopath.
Oh yeah. So it's like, oh, cool, yeah, go for it, man. But no, so I'm Battsauce. I got my channel. I do like some indie reviews. I'm also an indie author, known as the Short Bus Veteran. Also, Battsauce at Night, the Anointed Riptardist, as of recently, and AKA I'm also a student of God as well. So that's me.
Okay. Wait, not serious. Are you seriously student of God? Like,
why would I joke? Why is everything I'm joking
joke,
about
right?
that?
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Are you serious?
Why is everybody so surprised?
No, I just had no idea.
No, just because I expected him to be so much more, godlike and not, boyishly good looking.
Well, he's not Nick Ricada. He's not dressed up as a pope.
Yeah, I don't know. I got in a confrontation with somebody with this account, and I had to reveal myself. So, yeah.
Oh, holy fucking shit! I had no idea, man. Yeah. I always thought you were just fucking with us when you said that. So
why would I ever?
Totally cool.
Why would I ever do that? That's just silly. That's why would anyone do that?
It was kind of funny because we were. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Oh, it's funny, Bat. We were mutuals. My account got nuked, and I was the one that dropped the Riley being arrested video, and so I had to create a whole new account.
No, interesting.
So it's like we know each other, but we don't know we know each other.
Yeah. I remember watching. That was funny. Yeah,
that was a great night.
That was a lot of fun, man. I mean, I wanted to be at that meetup for so many reasons, just because it would have been a lot of fun. But just seeing that happen, IRL would have been just the tits.
I was watching that live on Mint Salads thing or whatever it was. I was like, this can't go good.
Me too. And then I stopped, and then I looked over, and I'm like, oh, perp walk, perfect.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing, I took the video from Mint and Riley's and subtitled everything that they were saying while they were standing there less than 100 feet away from Melissa, Nerdrotic's wife, saying everything that they were saying, just to put it out like, this is just what they're saying. I'm not fucking putting any context here. This is just what was happening. And the amount of shit I got for that, just like they were accusing me of harassing and doxing Mint.
Yeah.
What? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
they're
shocked.
Well, it's since then. I don't know who started that. I think it was Dean Pelton's AIDS riddled cousin who started the Melissa being a Melissa pig thing, and then they just kept carrying it forward. It's still going for whatever reason. It's pretty disgusting, but no, you're the bad guy for pointing out how awful that is. Melissa, who's always been the most consummate, nicest person on the planet.
Yeah,
that's just evil.
Dude, Melissa's one of the coolest, nicest punk rock fucking chicks you'll ever meet. And like a lot of people say, if you've met her in real life, you try that shit, like you test her, get any closer and fucking test her. She's going to just rip your fucking face off.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
They were the nice ones. They'll kill you. CJ knows.
Yeah.
We'll get on with the intros real quick. We got Drunken Emerald Arrow filling in. Always a good pleasure to have you, man. How's it going this week?
Overall, not too bad. Happy to finally be at the weekend. A stressful week of work, which has helped to weight loss. But I've decided that I'm going to start making my own religion, and I'm going to see if I can get some new followers. And eventually I will overtake all other major world religions. So
sounds like
it's going to be the way of the arrow. The way.
Yeah, that sounds like a cult.
You have to charge money.
I'll sue you.
All right.
I'll sue you. Call my.
All right. Well,
well, now you're
nighttime is the right time.
Nighttime is the right time. The nighttime
And
is the nighttime.
Strider, we've heard from you already a little bit, and I want to make this quick so we can get to our special guest. And join us tonight is my actually the host of Space Jockeys that I co-host and produce, none other than Diesel. What is going on, dude?
What's up, man? I'm
Nothing.
happy. I have 4 new tires, outer and inner tie rod ends, and the front end is lined up in my car, man. That might sound like small potatoes, but that is like it's pure bliss driving down the road knowing that your tire might not break off and like throw you into traffic at any moment. It's nice.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and you ought to see all this yard work
yeah.
I did for my mom, man. It's fucking, it's dope, man. Like she's on a pond, and I like for the past 2 weeks straight, every day I've been taking this trimmer and going from the front yard all the way to the back, all the way down, and I got finished all the way to the pond yesterday, man. And it's like I used almost a whole thing of line for it too. It's nice. It's just it's nice. So now I can kick back and rewatch like Pitch Black and Chronicles of Riddick again tonight, so we can
there you
talk
go
about that.
Lead into our show, buddy. That's what I'm hoping for you to do.
Diesel and
There we go.
Sounds deadly.
That's the good stuff. Sunday is going to be awesome. I'm actually really fucking looking forward to watching those movies again. I haven't watched Pitch Black in years. Riddick, it's been even longer. I wasn't as big of a fan of that as I'd hoped I would be. I'm hoping after the rewatch this weekend and when we talk about it on Sunday, I'm going to feel a little bit different. The video game, though.
Dude, you played it. You played it too.
Oh, fuck yeah. I played it
Man,
on
Escape from Butcher Bay and
Yeah.
Assault on Dark Athena. If you get Assault on Dark Athena, it's got Butcher Bay remastered, man. That is for a movie tie-in game with a big name voice actor. The game is freaking dope, dude.
Question: How old were you when the movie came out? Riddick.
I think I was like 16, 17 ish.
It's like perfect age. Like the edginess of that movie is like what really captures you. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude, you want to? I was the stereotypical edgy '90s kid, like the black fingernail
knives,
polish and the moodiness.
Riddick, the more you watch the Chronicles of Riddick, the better it gets, because they took one little niche film, which is Pitch Black, and then they just, hey, this whole another universe in here, and it might not make sense to, for a lot of people logically, but it's like there's a ton of stuff in there. All kinds of different people, planets, things. It's dope, man.
Yeah, the world.
Ghost Judi Dench and Carl Urban as
Guys, you're welcome to join on Sunday. We
Yeah,
got to save some content for Sunday, okay?
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, shout out now.
Fun. This is a fun
Now-
cast. Looking forward to hearing it.
Leading into our special guest of this evening, writer C.S. Johnson. How are you doing this tonight, this evening, whatever it is for you?
Good. And if we get on the hating women comments again, I have the perfect segue between this and video games.
We hadn't really had that in the roster, but we can always add it in. That is never a problem. In fact, we can just pencil that in right at the top. Hating women and why. Women ruin everything. The only problem is my wife isn't here. She's sick. She's just in the back screen. She'd be jumping in right now. I fucking know. This is why.
No, Strider knows what I'm talking about. When I jumped in on MSK stream, they were all talking about bad women stories and stuff. And I'm like, oh, you complain about women. I made my appearance.
Oh, one of those.
Perfect.
Yeah,
But
we
it was
said
like,
bad
no,
women better.
perfect segue, because I saw the whole video game debate came up again on Twitter this week. And I'm like, oh, we'll save this for a podcast. So.
Now, what should I call you? CS Johnson or CJ? What do you prefer?
CJ. Yeah.
CJ. Okay. Which would you like me to share, your Fund My Comic or Kickstarter? Because we're gonna go ahead and show that right now.
Yes. So the fact that you were talking about that you're very kind to Nemesis for being an artist bodes well for me, since I'm a writer, and that's not too different. I think I just know a lot more words to express how weird I am.
Well,
um,
let's have a look at some of your art right now. Actually, I've already got it pulled up here. 1 second.
You mind if I show one of my buddy's comics later?
I do not mind. In fact, we can do that before we get on to topics.
I think being the host of these podcasts means that you're like obligated to let people show off their stuff. So
All right. So I pulled up your Fun My Comic first. Unless you'd rather I pull up your Kickstarter,
no, they're
doesn't
both the
matter to me.
same.
Either one.
I get the
So
money back
what
on my comic for what it's worth. So
we were talking just a few days ago, and this actually just went live, what, on the 15th?
yes.
All right. What can you tell us about this?
So this is issue number 2 of my comic book series Discord. It's Atlanta's guardian angel of music superhero who goes after human traffickers. So good role models, good strong male lead, you know, definitely good versus evil. I did not kill myself.
But
I
do you
will-
have, you
Good
have
versus
self-insert,
evil.
though?
So you're not doing the whole deconstructing of the hero, which is kind of played out nowadays.
Oh, well, the thing that they forget to teach you, I think, on some level, is that you deconstruct things in hopes of reconstructing it. It's almost like when you take a car
Right.
apart to make it run better. So a lot of people, for some reason, don't want to put it back together these days.
Right. So kind of like what I'm thinking is the original story with Peter Parker, how he acquired his powers. The first thing he wanted to do was make money to, if you watch the movie, it was to impress a girl. If you read the comic books, it was for other ambitions. But that was the same thing. It was selfish in nature until circumstances made him realize that he had to use his powers for the greater good and helping people. Is that am I kind of in that same realm? Is that what we're talking about?
No.
Without giving too much away.
All right. So, like, deconstructionism is more in the way of like you take something that's established as a hero and it's almost like a bad faith interpretation a lot of the times, but it could be legitimate too. Like a better example of this, I think, would be like the theories that they have about Alfred, you know, and that's where is he really Batman's father? Because he is like a father figure to Batman, but could he also be like this manipulative, controlling person, like that secretly knows how to get under?
No.
Like, you know, that kind of thing. And is he ever tempted to like abuse his privilege or anything like that? That kind of question is coming. It's where, like I said, it's more like you take a bad faith interpretation of something and you make it terrible.
Gotcha.
Like
you've just made me think horrible things about Alfred, and you can tell I'm a massive Batman fan, and I don't appreciate that at all. Alfred Pennyworth is a fucking saint.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing is like people are like, well, maybe he's too much of a saint, or what has he done to make up for it? You know, like that kind of thing. Where you can.
You know what, lady? We're just gonna We're just gonna watch your trailer now because.
Oh, okay.
That would be a lot.
Alfred is also a badass dude, total badass. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I was actually telling my kids this, but it's like it is deconstructionism is a legitimate thing, but it's more of a reinterpretation, and it's usually done in bad faith.
Well, I would say that's kind of what happens in the modern day with deconstructing.
Well, like, it's a postmodernistic sort of technique.
Yeah,
so.
I feel like there's been, especially back a little bit further, there's been deconstructions of characters, which is more just like diving deeper into their story than the original story may have wanted you to.
Yes, I do think at some level there is a place for it, for what it's worth, because like you should have the right as a reader to say, is this person as truly as good or as talented or whatever as what they are.
Virtuous.
Yes, virtuous. But I don't think that it's, like I said, there's not a lot of good faith interpretations of it. Nobody really comes out looking better these days with deconstructionism.
Yeah.
See,
Ain't
I
that the
think that's why I like so much more the deconstruction of a villain. I love a good redemption arc when you see a villain become a hero, get redeemed at some point, as opposed to a hero going bad, being crushed, and because that basically loses everything that that a hero is supposed to be about. They're supposed to be about overcoming even the weight of the world on their shoulders, whereas a villain that's already in that spot overcoming those obstacles is always more appealing to me. I'm one of the few people that loved when in the early I think it was the mid 80s, 90s when they did Magneto's redemption arc and actually made him headmaster of the school for a while. And the New Mutants and other Claremont lines that were going on at the time. I liked that. A lot of people fucking hated it, but I thought it was great.
Well, it is like kind of diving deeper into like the motivation behind certain actions and everything. And I think the like the tendency that you see a lot today is that you have a lot more tendency to like the victim becomes the victimizer, and like somehow that's justified. That's not necessarily that's not supposed to happen. So just because you are a victim of something does not mean that you should become the victimizer.
Mm-hmm.
I like to call it sympathy with the devil to the point that you're willing to excuse his crimes. And it's like, no.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's like two wrongs don't make it right, huh?
Well, you can, you can feel sorry for people without agreeing with what they do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And my favorite redemption arcs are actually when the villains are completely like they are totally like observant of everything that they've done wrong.
Yes.
And they actually have remorse for their actions. That's when it makes a really good, an actual standing redemption arc, not just that, okay, it serves me better to be on the good guy's side than the bad guy's side.
That's one thing.
Which can be fun, like Vegeta from Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna say, manga does it so well. Like if you've ever watched or read Bleach with the Soul Society arc, man, you got oh my goodness, I'm blanking on his name. Rukia's adopted brother. Byakuya Yakuchiki.
Yeah.
You wind up hating this SOB at the beginning of the story. You just think he is the ultimate in evil, but then it brings that. I mean, you just hate this guy's guts, man. But then they bring him around and make him like you see why he did what he did, and then they bring him back up, dude. It's the most epic thing ever. That's why it's like one of the greatest arcs in all of manga, in my opinion.
They did.
That's fantastic.
It's not really manga, but my kids have been watching Avatar again. And,
nice.
Yes.
Avatar is great.
Yeah.
That's great.
And you have a lot of different kind of like character arcs in Avatar: The Last Airbender that really work out well. Of course, Zuko's is probably the most well known, from more of an anti-hero to like a genuine hero redemption arc.
Mm-hmm.
They explore it through his past and his presence and his complications with his uncle versus Azula and everything. So those are. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Shadowversity's book. I don't know if any of y'all read that.
Yeah.
Shadow Conqueror. I mean, it's about like he's like, all right, I'm gonna take the worst guy, Super Hitler, and see if it's possible to redeem him. And the question is answered by the reader, so it's you don't necessarily have to say that he's redeemed at the end or not. It's interesting though.
I have looked at that and I really want to check that out.
Yeah.
I love that concept. That's kind of similar to also Solomon Kane.
Yes.
I don't know if any of you guys are familiar
Men
with
shall
those
die for this.
Or that fucking movie was great. One of the most unlooked at, like, hidden gems of that year.
That's a John Carpenter film, isn't it?
Oh my God.
I don't think so. It was a British
know.
production. I think it was James Purefoy as Solomon
Yeah, it was
Kane.
James Purefoy as Solomon Kane.
I have never seen that, man.
Oh, it is.
I'm
It
just
is
wondering what I'm
great.
thinking of.
Basically, take the worst, most ruthless, nasty fucking pirate, and he finds a treasure that is cursed by a demon that tells him that if he kills one more person, he is damned to hell. So his only choice is to become a fucking Puritan.
Cool.
Now, with all of those skills that he's acquired, being a fucking nasty, badass fucking pirate for decades, and a group of I can't remember what they are, just evil things or people take the family of Puritans that he cares the most about from him. Does he go back on his oath of no killing, or start killing ruthlessly to save the people that he cares the most about?
Mm-hmm. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Well,
Now,
and
speaking of good stuff, let's take a look at this trailer right now for
Discord.
okay, I want to make sure I was pronouncing it right. Discord Atlantis Guardian Angels of Music. Let's check it out right now.
Introducing Discord, Atlanta's newest superhero, from award-winning author C.S. Johnson. With musical powers that enable him to hear the unique song of each individual soul, Discord has spent the last decade honing his skills and training to take down his father's killer. But Discord isn't just fighting for justice. He's also using his powers to go after human traffickers and put an end to their heinous crimes. Get this 30-page full-color comic today.
All right.
Okay, that's fucking dope.
Cool.
So the music, or his power, comes from music and sound.
So what it is he's able to hear, like, so he has to like be able to touch them, but like he can hear the song of each human soul. So like I don't know if you know, but like I have like a large history of literature and stuff that I love, and the literary history of the Bible and the Hebrew language tends to like when we say in the beginning God created the world, it translates more accurately into like he sings, like he spoke, you know. And so I like this idea that we're each just kind of like human songs, like encased within a body.
That's how Middle Earth started.
Holy shit. I fucking love it.
Yep. So, and so like if I was going to build a superhero who was going after human traffickers, like specifically like these people who prey on children and weak people and vulnerable people, I would want him to be able to have a lot of empathy, but also in light of that, like you still have to be able to stand firm in justice, because you know, mercy, you know, without justice is, you know, injustice, right? Or something like that's right. Yep.
One thing I noticed right off, what I really liked was that classic the character design.
Oh,
And
yes.
the artwork is definitely a callback to like the late 90s.
Well, this
someone like me can appreciate that a lot. So who was your artist on that?
So the artist team that I have, they're Light Comic Studio. They're really great. They actually do a lot of work with manga and comics. So it actually has a really good blend. For me, I grew up more with manga than I do with comics, but
Uh-oh.
yeah, this is my first comic series. And I didn't know where to start when I started doing the stuff. So that's kind of how.
Right there, I love that. That looks.
I like how emotional it is. Like they really could do a good job of capturing the emotion of it, of the scene.
Interesting. So he learns how to fight. He doesn't automatically already know how to fight, like some stories.
No.
You mean he goes through growth? What?
Yeah, what?
No, so he's 16 when his father's killed by a human trafficker, and his dad actually kind of knows that it's coming. That's a bit of a spoiler, sorry, because of the other kind of unique power that goes along with the soul song stuff. So, and if you read issue 1, it's not really much of a spoiler, but. So the other.
Is there a way to buy both issue 1 and issue 2?
Yes. I think actually.
That's awesome. I love when everybody needs to do that. My God.
Yes.
What I hate is when I get interested in a crowdfunding project and find out it's on like the second or third, and there's no way to get caught up.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest things that like takes a big shit on the whole crowdfunding scene, is that, along with just not, finishing your books. But
yeah, I think you can add it on as an extra, or there is like I want to say it's the $20 tier that you can get both or something. 15. Yep. See. Oh, there it is. No, 15.
Oh, nice.
So you get Discord 1 and 2. So you can get the physical copy or the digital copies.
So for $15, you can get Discord 1 and 2 digital copies, and for $25, and I'm going to say, everybody, physical media is the way to go. Get your books, put them in fucking, just bag them and tag them.
You never know.
The way we used to do.
People on Media Matters will be sifting through your podcast trying to hear me say the N-word or something. So.
We'll get you to say it by the end of the night.
Yeah, wait 5 minutes. It'll come out.
Bring MSK on right now, just to make sure that
no.
happens.
She is immune to that now. She is. I mean, come on, Siji. How many times have we been on MSK show? You know better than to do that.
By the way, everybody, go subscribe to MSK Master Swag King. Has the Iron Man podcast. It has nothing to do with Iron Man, but it is a lot of fun. If you can handle a lot of fun, it's a lot of fun.
Little bit of Tourette's thrown in there too, probably.
Right.
I can definitely confirm that.
Yes. Well, he's been very nice to me, and so I let him joke about me being his MILF friend, and he's just my black friend. So
he's the inspiration for Discord, except more well adjusted. And a TV mounted in his living room, no doubt.
Yeah, if you met it, if you just want to go completely low budget and make a Discord movie and have MSK play.
if anybody seriously wanted to write a fan video of it, I would totally be okay with it. Like that
would actually be cool if we all just got together and made like a small, like 15-20 minute, moderately high production clip of him playing it for like promotional material. That'd be kind of fun. He's a good looking guy. He could fit the part.
Don't lie to him.
He can't go. He can't go 30 seconds without trying to say something.
I love my black son. Right? Back off.
My black son.
He's also a ninja.
Yes. Thank you. I never know who's going to get my Family Guy references. No matter how obscure. Yeah, I've actually read this book and I really enjoyed it. I loved, and I don't know if this is necessarily a spoiler. What's cool, he can hear their inner thoughts, but he doesn't just beat the hell out of people. So that's one of the things I really appreciate. He has a choice whether to either beat the hell out of somebody or to maybe say something that's going to get to the heart of their deepest insecurities and render them immobile that way. And I like that. That's a really cool twist.
If he's any self-insert for me, it's my high propensity for being manipulative.
Well, you're a woman.
It's not a self-insert.
You need to work on that manipulation to get MSK to hang his TV.
For the good of us all.
All you just need to do is you need to hire a bunch of women to tell him to do it, and they'll do it.
I don't know. Every single woman that comes on his show has something to say about it. He still won't do it.
No. Like I said, you got to hire.
Oh, okay.
Be like, oh, geez, if only you had your TV hung up too. You know, maybe we'd go out on a date. But I don't date anybody with their TVs.
You're referring to prostitutes then.
I think that would actually work.
Well, I mean,
No, they wouldn't actually have to date
somebody
him,
to
just
do it for free.
insinuate.
You know.
Now, before we get on to the next thing we want to talk about, just gonna do a quick hello to the chat, bringing it up. We got Emily Kruger. Happy Friday, Emily. Also, the master of music trivia. She will leave everyone in shame. She always does. We got Angry Vulcan. Howdy. We got Professor Savage Dad. I'm not in this case, Father. I don't leave to get milk. Okay. We got the Master Hobo over from the Hobo Shack or Hobo Shelter, the Hobo Refuge, whatever the Hobo
it's a box like Antoine. I don't know, man. They got some nice digs these days. Depends on what state he's in.
It's just California.
Well,
that's all.
I mean, this is the Master Hobo, so he has like, I'm thinking of like the whole like Hall.
He's like
of
Lawrence
Justice,
Fishburne and John Wick,
only made out of like fucking 2x4s, and
it's like the Pillow Fort in Community with Blanketsburg and Pillow Town. It's all cardboard boxes and refrigerator boxes and
it's like
corrugated metal with a.
But greetings, fellow locals. Yes, we are all locals from the homeless shelter, the shelter of truth. That's what we'll call it. Yeah, there we go. All right, who else we got? We already got Angry Vulcan. We got Nate. He is there. Damn, you guys are starting just now. What's up, everyone? Well, what's up is we're starting the show and you're not here because you're buying a computer from a store instead of building one like a man. You fucking dork.
What do you want? One that works? Who does that?
Right? You're supposed to buy all of the components piece by piece, painstakingly put them together, hope to God that it works, just to save maybe $100 or $2.
Right, man. And then does it work? You sit around and think that it's everything under the planet, man. You know, and then you still don't get it right.
But the way that you say
it yourself, though, gosh darn it.
The way that you say it, you might as well tell me to build my own genie bottle. So
it's like getting an old car you got to work on.
I'm sorry, man. We're speaking of man things here, like building computers.
Hey, Christina Aguilera shimmying out of a genie bottle is a man thing. Just me?
What?
Okay, never mind.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Christina
Jason
Aguilera,
Clinton,
genie
hello, everyone.
I grew up in the 90s. It's okay. I'm not weird.
You're a little weird.
You're very weird.
The motherfucking Matt Barr. What is
Barr?
Up? Yo, Matt Barr. All right. Who else? We got Angry Vulcan again. Already said hi to you. MSK, of course, he's here. And Oh, Renowned Zero. What is going on? He's just saying hi to my wife because, you know, why not?
Yeah, why not, man? Yeah.
Weird
Sir
about that
Obsidian?
at all. Woo, happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday to yourself. Let's see. AC Picard. Another one just saying hi to my wife. She is so popular in the chat. It just makes me unsecure. Anyway, who else we got? We got Dom H. Dom H is a fucking regular in the Nerdrotic 199 Spirit. Dude, seen him in the meetups with his brother, who we won't name names, but you know what, dude, you're fucking awesome. So is your brother, man. All right, he's also just saying hi to my wife in the chat. That's the only reason he's fucking here. All right, who else? We got LG, and keep going down the list. I don't think we've messed anybody. Transformers fan, what is up,
man?
This guy's fucking legit when it comes to the Transformers stuff.
Really? How could you tell?
Yeah, he's a
Diesel
legit
would-
young dude, man. I'm
And-
gonna mail him something out of nowhere one day, and it's gonna blow his freaking doors.
It's gonna literally be a bomb. A
I think we're
transformer
all caught
bomb.
up. We are all caught up there. So hail to the chat. Thank you guys for showing up. This is just a dumb fucking hobby show where we just have fun and fucking hang out. But I appreciate everybody that comes in and enjoys this idiocy with us. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up another screen here. We're gonna take a look at something else real quick before we get on to any topic. You know, I fucking hate topics, so I try to like stall it as much as I can.
Why? Topics
So-
are fun.
Topics suck, so I'd rather talk about this. Battsauce,
Yes.
you shared this with me. What the fuck are we looking at? It looks awesome. Tell me a little more about it.
Yeah, this is AC Pritchard's comic. He is the writer. The artist is Luke Stone, the guy who created Fund My Comic. He's the artist. So
Yeah.
I know it says he needs 7,000. I'm pretty sure he was telling me he only needs 1,000 really to get it. He just wants the 7,000 for like extra like covers and stuff like that. But yeah, fun Viking orc comic. It's a short story in his bigger world because he's really a novelist. But yeah, this is it's the big themes of family. He writes that very strongly into the story. But also it's I know how it goes. It becomes pretty dark too. So but yeah. I'm loving the art. AC's a good friend of mine, and I really think this is something that's worth people's time and money.
I think we took a look at this last week, and
Yeah.
this is something I
did you?
immediately went and backed because this looked really, really fucking awesome. And what I liked was it had limited amounts of human characters, and it focused more on
Oh yeah,
the orc
that's right.
characters.
I do remember you saying that now.
And I really no, and I don't mind sharing this again because I got really excited. The same night, I kind of fucked myself up because I like went and backed like 3 books before like paying my bills. I got like I got John,
Whoops,
I got,
we've
like-
all done that.
I got this, I got John's book, and I got Lord Raptor's book all on the same night, and I was like, oh shit.
Like, whoops.
But let's take a quick look at this trailer.
This song is a banger too.
Can you guys hear everything?
Yeah, AC is also. I mean, this isn't his song; it's AI, but he is a musician as well.
All right, but you guys can hear the audio just fine.
Yes.
All right, let's rock it.
Human heart that stands tall, frozen visage cold as ice. With the evening star he flies through the storm's haunting cries.
Dark jar of the frozen lands, kings of the place within his hands. Succession, destiny calls. In the twilight he stands.
Hear the horn sound so clear. Hear the torn cry, no regrets. Every fight brings destiny nearer. A saga of sunset. Saga of sunset.
South fields of frost and flame, in his sovereign's fire and pain. On his path, the legends claim the echoes of his name.
Mountain peaks his eyes survey, northern sun's fate to pray. Kingdom calls a break of day. You claim his boldest away. Hear the horn sound so clear. Hear that war cry, no regrets. Every fight brings destiny nearer. A saga of sunset. Saga of sunset. Saga of sunset.
Yeah, essentially, what is it called? Do you know what Iron Age Media? You know who he is, and the Anvil magazine.
Yes, I know about them. I haven't read any. I haven't read it, but yeah, I know about it.
So part of this story is in one of those comics because it's a combination of stories, and he of short stories essentially, and he'll approve some of them. So this has already been approved to be on that for proof of concept. Nice. And yeah, it's going to be a 70+ page comic.
Nice,
big thick boy, and it's a one and done. So that's going to be the end of that story. And then I mean, not the end of the universe though. So he's got many stories in that universe. But it's also a really good way to prove that you're not gay if you're needing to do that. Like if you're MSK. So if everybody thinks you're gay, you should probably back this comic. That's just my opinion.
I mean, orcs and Vikings. That's almost like wearing a shirt.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
What got me is the art style reminded me of something that was so loved by me as a kid, but like quickly forgotten by everybody. And that was it was a little known cartoon called The Legend of Dark Water.
Oh, yeah, I love that show.
Oh my God, it was so good. And it all it was like they just made that little pilot movie that was supposed to spawn into a series that never fucking happened. And it was so tragic that it didn't, because
no, there was a show.
Everything about it. No, the movie, and then that was it.
So I'll say this. I don't remember at all. I just remember I really loved it. But then like years later, I started to think it was just a fever dream I had. And then Jay mentioned it on a stream, and I was like, wait, this show actually existed?
Yeah, see, the thing was, it was never actually a show. They had, instead of a pilot, they had like a little mini series to try to sell the show.
Right.
And the mini series added up into like one movie. And then when the series, they didn't renew it for anything after that mini series. They sold it as a single movie on like the puffy cased VHS back in the 90s.
Yeah, I remember those.
But no, that was a terrific thing. The art was great. It had the whole thing where none of the characters were really quite human, which I loved. It completely displaced you from reality. Now, and I kind of get that from what I'm looking at here, like especially the art style too.
Yeah, there's one human in it. I know there's one human in it. He's a slave. That's it. The rest
good.
Of them are
Fuck
orcs.
him.
Yeah.
Hey, I like humans. Well,
Yeah.
so I like you guys. You're humans.
Are we though? We're not very good humans. But the fact that your book even has slavery in it.
This thing takes off and you make a major motion picture. You need an actor to play that part. MSK is just a phone call away.
And canceled. I don't know. I mean, we're going so crazy now. What's going to be the next surprise? Everybody goes the opposite direction, as unpolitically correct as humanly possible.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Then it'll be like the 90s again, like in living color.
No, not just the 90s. We're going to return to D.W. Lawrence levels. This is going to be like Birth of a Nation. That's how bad the backlash.
No, I mean, if we're just talking about comedy, like I was making a joke there. But if we are talking about like comedy and everything's the pendulum swinging back, we're going to see that so fucking hard.
Yeah.
It's already, everybody's talking about, from Ricky Gervais, Vince Vaughn, fucking every single major comedic actor and creator out there is saying there's no room. Like the tension is building up so tight that it's going to snap. And when it snaps, it's going to swing back so rough, just so hard.
Good. It's like that'll be welcome, because like if you've been following Dave Landau, that dude has some dark stuff, man. He's hilarious.
I love
man.
that guy. He's so funny.
When he took his kid to go visit his parents, and he went to a cemetery, and he was like knocking on the grave, like, "Can we wake him up?"
I think usually my favorite joke of his, and I heard this live. I'm about to piss myself laughing. There was some guys walking down the street, and they have like trash piled up or something. So Dave or someone, either Dave or acquaintance of his, pulls down his pants and falls over, acting like he's dead. And so this poor guy just walks by, and this is like 10 years old by this point. So this poor guy is walking by, and then all of a sudden the kids, as a prank, all of his other friends surround him and start accusing him of murdering the kid, and started murdering Dave or whoever was down there. Started yelling at him like, "We're gonna call the police! We're gonna call the police!" And he's like, "I went to bed that night thinking that guy is probably locking himself in his house, saying like, honey, I just want to be very clear, nothing happened. I didn't do anything." So he's probably woke up in the middle of the night. Every siren that went by, he's like, "Oh."
That's actually fucking awesome.
That's
hilarious.
It's something like my brothers did back in the day, man.
It's totally relatable because it's a fucked up prank, right? You don't joke about someone killing and raping a kid, but I mean, that is funny. You're setting someone up for that. It's totally innocent. Nothing. It didn't actually happen.
When you live in a boring backwoods place, man, we made up stuff, dude. Like,
this wasn't even boring backwoods. This was downtown Detroit, by the way.
Yeah.
So probably some credible accusations.
I would have thought that would have been no big deal. Man, it's a dead body over there in the trash.
Oh, look, it's Detroit, the 90s in Detroit. Yeah. In a few years, we're gonna have 8 Mile, so might as well get comfortable.
Oh well, maybe it was a suicide instead then.
Okay.
Now,
it's funny. The guy's like, "Yes." Oh, wait.
We're gonna lead into topics. Now, I wish Battsauce is taking a back. Oh, there he is. He's probably the best person to lead into this first topic.
Yeah.
So
why is that? What?
Because
$5 foot long.
Yeah, exactly.
You're on the short bus.
An odd thing happened. The Rippers had a $5 sale.
Yeah.
And apparently that's not a good thing.
It's terrible. I mean, anybody who has a sale. Yeah, Comicsgate just pretending that sales aren't a thing. I mean, it's just like they're really trying to make it like an us versus them thing. Like I'm pretty sure EVS has just been like forever just really trying his hardest to try to make like a Marvel versus DC thing. But it's dumb. It's dumb to do that with indies. Like we're not mm-hmm. That's something you do in the mainstream or something like that. Like we're trying to build audiences here. And
to go back to one of the big things when I had my little encounter with EBS, one of the things I tried to get through to him was he kept saying I'm fighting the culture war. It's like, how are you fighting the culture war by fighting people that are fighting the culture war?
He's not. He knows he's not.
Why should that matter?
Well, considering his allies would be on the other side of that culture war, they're so far beneath the culture war that the left side of the culture war would be like, ew, gross.
They think that when Eric July said that he wants to do something that can compete or with the big three with
Marvel,
DC and Marvel. Yeah, that just meant him alone. No, I thought what he's actually meaning is like just building momentum with all independent creators to actually compete with them. And if they all did and produce something good that actually comes out, that might actually happen.
Yeah.
Am I fucking wrong?
No, it's a completely extremely difficult task to try to reach mainstream numbers. It's a Goliath, right? It is possible, right? I think EVS has given up on that. I think he gave up a long time ago and just is collecting all the money to just be a troll. That's all he wants to do now. It's like, okay, cool, thanks, dude. Thanks for being an asshole.
Well, there are some.
Yeah, he wants to be. he wants to be Howard Stern. But go ahead.
Yeah,
CJ.
he's truly going shock jock.
Well, I was,
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, when you're in a war, even in a culture war, every side has its propaganda. And if you have a slogan that's big enough to work, people can speak, strike, or dress it. And so it's like you can kind of interpret it the way that you want. And one of the problems that does come up with this is that you have hater. And one of the problems that comes up with this is that people look to you to be like a gatekeeper in an age where you're tearing down the former gatekeepers. So this is the cycle of empires in some way. And it's never been this individualistic. So there's a lot of pressure on people like EBS and like Rippaverse to say, you know, this is what we should do. And that's where these like teams are kind of formed. And kind of like the football stuff, you have a lot of competition and a way to kind of drum up the hype. Because a lot of people will buy into the hype.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if
like,
it's
yeah. Well, it's like gatekeeping can be very broad too, because it's like, well, obviously we should, you know, have some form of gatekeeping, but it's like the whole concept of Comicsgate was the fact that like your political opinions shouldn't be really what's being gate capped. Like, you know, if that's not being reflected in the art, yeah, and that was, I think, you know, a good start.
Well, gatekeeping is probably the wrong term for it now, but it's more like like it's almost like a pointer dog. You know, this one over here is alive and will save you, and this way is the bear that will eat you.
Well, it's like whenever you're fighting with these people, it's like they love to latch onto the like very specific details of the terms that you're using. But then when it's them using certain terms, they'll be granted as much generosity to the interpretation of that as possible, right?
Yes.
I've been having a lot of drama, and you know, people, because I came out with a review that it wasn't a review, it was a video, and it was a negative aspect of a book. That person who wrote that book was very butthurt and then ran off trying to label it as a smear. Then his other CG butt buddies went to go out to try to white knight for him, and again try to label it as a smear. And then I'm just doing it to be contrarian, which all describes bad faith, right? So they are by definition.
Interesting.
Yeah. They're saying bad faith, and Tony just like was going over, I guess, some of my tweets last night on a stream, and being like, "See, he's a liar. He said I said bad faith, but if we look at the transcript, I never used the words bad faith." And it's like, you realize you could say bad faith, like you can say words if you define the word, that's you saying it. But it's like they get all the grace in the fucking world. But then when you say a very specific thing, like, I mean, DVS did it to you, Iron Oxide, like, no, that wasn't the very specific word I said there, you know? And it's like, we all know, we could be, we look into this and we're like, we know what you're doing. But, it's a debate tactic, essentially.
Well, it is an effective form of sales tactic, too, because you get a lot, like with competition, you get a lot of interaction. And the interaction affects the algorithm and everything too. And more people kind of come on, even if they're not buying into the competition itself. They still like, oh, this is a nice product. I wouldn't have seen it if it weren't for this thing. That's interesting.
Competition is always good, man. It drives down prices and makes people improve the quality of their product.
Yeah,
always good.
Absolutely.
The opposite of that would be communism.
Yeah.
Well, competition is good, but the drama that's in the indie world is very gay, and we're not like
it's
attracting
insane levels.
I don't know how in the world any of those people sit there and pour. Who has that much time to pour over stuff? No, wait, actually, it's this word and not this word, and I'm right, and I'm just like, man, dude, just think of all that. Think of all you don't have that time back. You could have you could have gone outside and washed your car. I don't know, planted a tree or like
maintenance, self-maintenance, self-care.
Clean the bathroom, something, man. I mean,
well, there's an individual financial incentive.
Real quick, we have a new fighter joining the conquest, and
I am the world's first fully functioning homicidal artist.
That's awesome. You choose the perfect.
Darnell
villain for
Quigley.
everybody.
Thank you.
Welcome to the fold.
Thank you.
Reading
Thank
his
you.
program.
Thank you. That was the perfect intro, sir. I loved it. My favorite Joker, Mr. Nicholson. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm
Very
good.
well.
Get my
How's
Now-
your novel coming, Darnell?
Never. No, I have no idea.
Hey man,
I've,
It'll come out next year.
you got stuff behind you. Looks cool.
What? Oh yeah, we had the
Yeah,
Keyblade,
yeah.
lightsaber, D20,
Wolverine popcorn bucket. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a whole.
Hey, he's
Fossil
in
Cake
a
Boys.
full
Man, you-
full scale workshop.
Dude,
Now-
you're gonna have to come on you're gonna have to come on Space Jockey sometime and like show off collection and cool
Yeah, man.
stuff, man.
And this is what survived 2 storms and an ex and my father throwing shit away. So I used to have like triple this stuff.
Oh yes, but your paint didn't survive.
No, I had a fuck ton of paints for miniatures, and every single one of them is ruined because they have
that is
no glare in
the
here.
fucking
Dude,
that
it's
is the fucking worst, man. I will go like months and months without like printing and like going into a project, and then once I do and I'm ready for paint,
Mhm.
I go and it's like the most essential paints like flesh tones, everything. It's like just fucking dried to the
it looks like the desert, like out, where you see all that cracked stuff, like scorpions are crawling across it and everything, man.
And and it's water based.
Hey, Arrakis. Oh man.
I put some mini glare.
It's got way more
Water.
moisture in
Pick it
the
up and
paint.
get
I'll put a
separated.
little rubbing alcohol and water in it. It'll be fine.
Yeah. It's water based, so I figured it'd be easy to save it, but it's impossible.
Yeah, man.
So, what am I gonna do?
All right. So the $5 EVSL, like I didn't,
Oh, I'm about that. I've got
see
I put a link in the
$5
I put a link in the private chat. This is
You
probably
did.
a very an incredibly succinct. Oh, sorry, I didn't know that you saw it. My bad.
Has he still got that $5 sale? I'm sorry.
I did.
Oh,
See it
it's,
yesterday.
it's a
Today.
renowned
I
zero.
got an email that says it's
we
ending
know-
tonight.
Yeah. So
Like if it's not Student of God and it's renowned zero, we're in for a good time. Let's
Yeah.
check it out.
And this is just probably this is hilarious because I've been following it kind of this week, and not like all of renowned stuff, but just some of the arguments that people have been using, and they are insane. Like,
That
but
dude
it's like they
thrives on the
never.
chaos, man.
He does, and he does it so well. It's like nobody has ever heard of a sale in retail before. God forbid you go to a Memorial Day sale at a used car lot or a President's Day sale at a mattress firm.
Are you not
God.
to mention Labor Day? That's next.
Yeah.
Labor Day or Labor Day sale. I don't do Memorial Day. I draw the line at that. I don't feel right about
Black
that. But like 4th
Friday.
of July, Friday, everything else, Memorial Day, I draw the line. But like, God forbid, I have to half the games I have right now are from Steam sales. I never pay full price for a game. How dare I try to save money?
This is my biggest problem with the artificial drama that like EVS is stirring, right? Is like, imagine you're like, okay, let me dip my toes into indie, right? Like I know they're like, a little rusty or whatever, but like maybe there's some good stuff. And then all of a sudden you see that you got a bunch of people complaining over a $5 sale. And then next thing you know, you're like, what's a cyber frog? What's this? What's that? Like, whoa, what is this? Okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, this is kind of how they get them.
That is my problem too.
Mhm.
Like what I was trying to fucking tell him, man, all CG is fucking representing is bitching about somebody else along with the Dick Masterson fan base, Mint Salad, Riley, all of that. That is all that CG fucking encompasses anymore. That's it.
Yep.
Man,
Yeah,
these dudes
like-
would if Eric July was just like, hey man, here's like $5 for everybody, I'm just gonna give it to you. They'd be complaining about that shit too.
Yeah.
Should have been 10.
Well, I can easily see how this would also put off a bunch of indie creators because you think about it, you're an indie creator, you're trying to get as many eyes in your project as humanly possible, and you have Ethan Van Sciver and his reach. Wow, he wants to have me on. He wants to have me on the show. Okay, Comics Gate Kings, what's that? Oh, it's 5 hours of a stream. only 15 minutes of which I get to talk about my comic, and I get to sit on here to listening them talk about this really weird thing. Yeah, shitting on everything else that's not them. These people I've never heard of, and all of a sudden I'm being told they're my enemies. But if I just want to write my comic, if I just want to get my stuff done, then I mean I'm host because I can't just put my head down and ignore it all. I have to be a part of this.
Well,
and if I'm not, EVS is immediately going to hate me and send his hate mob after me. That's how this works, unfortunately.
And it goes beyond that, Strider. It's not just who goes on EVS's shows. It's crowdfunding indie comics as a whole, because he is such a big fucking voice within that sphere. He represents all of it. And all the shit that he's just dropping down is hitting everyone in the fucking head.
Yeah, him pretending like he doesn't run Comicsgate is
right.
Just gaslighting, because like he knows it. It's what he's wanted, and it's like anytime anyone thinks about Comicsgate, especially new people for past year or so, it's like the first thing you think of, EVS.
Yep.
Like,
can anyone think of a book? Or
when I was talking with him and he goes, "Why are you laughing, you imbecile?" I was laughing because he was saying he's not Comicsgate. You are Comicsgate.
Yeah.
You are Comicsgate.
I'm not actually Comicsgate. Yeah, I just run the Comicsgate King's channel and get to decide who shows up and who doesn't.
It's just my show that I just have that is just for like comics book industry pros, but also people that suck my dick hard enough. That can,
well, that's I mean that's what it's a truth around it. If you're on his show and he says go buy this comic, you're gonna make a lot of money. Like
yeah.
So like why wouldn't you just be like, okay, at least I just gotta play nice with him. But yeah, that
and
comes
anyone
at a
that's
cost.
not and doesn't play nice with him, he is going to go out of his way to fucking ruin. If he didn't go out of his way to ruin people, I would not give as much shits about him.
Well, he'll counter that. He's like, well, you think I'm giving orders or whatever? It's like, but then he's pretending like he doesn't know already that like Tony and all the other people are going to come after you, because that's what they do. And then they'll be like, well, we're not being paid to do this. It's like, yeah, but you have a financial incentive to do this. And it's like him not saying anything, like, hey, how about you stop harassing anyone who says something negative about me? Some people can say things negative about me. Yeah, but he's not going to do that because he's like, this is funny. You know, keeps the power that way.
And it's not even toe the line. It is get on your knees and worship me. Otherwise, if you say anything even remotely critical, be like, I don't really know about that. I don't really know if this is a good idea. Hey, I don't really want to get involved in this. Oh, well, you are betraying Comicsgate. You're not involved in it. You're immediately an enemy within the blink of an eye, and you will have so many hate. You have so much hate turned your way. And it's insane because honestly, if he would just shut up, if all of these people would just shut up and write books, make books, illustrate them, print them, send them out, nobody would care. Just stop, just create things. But they
catch more flies with honey, man.
Exactly. They don't create anything. They just tear everything else that's not them down and want to burn it to ashes. The difference between... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say what you do is you be positive about other people that are independents, and then they'll be positive about you, and then everybody just gets lifted up.
Rising tide lifts all boats.
That's what you do, man. Positive vibes, positive vibes and positive things will have you'll get positive things in return. That's just the way that things work, man. And I don't know. It's just, God, dude, you can't be so negative all the time, man. I know all those issues. I've had issues before when going down like a real negative path. It sucks, man. Being negative all the time stinks, man. It's just, and you let those negative emotions feed on themselves, and then it's just a snowball effect, man. And then it's just a giant pile of misery. And who wants that, man? It's just
that's what I say in the group chat, man. When it's getting like really bad, I'm like, guys, hey, settle down. All you're doing is just churning up the negativity and making it worse.
It's easy to slip
let
into.
it go. Oh, absolutely. So you've all said your points. I wasn't trying to like be addicted. You said your points, let it go. You've gotten your opinions out there. Let the hate come. Just ignore it because it's just making us just like them.
Yeah. There's a big difference between criticism and coaching. I mean, but the thing is, yeah, but there's a difference. Yeah, it's this kind of a nasty, vicious cycle of people reacting to other people, reacting to other people. There's a big difference between criticism and coaching. And I actually, this is perfect. I think it was on some NFL talk show. I don't remember what it was. I don't know football. But someone's like, so what would you say the difference between coaching and criticism is? He's like, so let me put to you. I think it was Charles Barkley, maybe. He said, so yeah, this is me criticizing. Oh yeah, you probably know what I'm talking about. This is me criticizing you. Hey, your suit looks terrible. Hey, you look fat in that. Hey, hey, you look awful. Like, oh, how'd you handle that? Yeah, it didn't feel good. Okay, here's coaching. Hey, that suit doesn't really look good with your skin tone. Maybe try this instead. Hey, that tie, here's maybe you should get to the gym because I want you to be healthy. I want you to stick around. That's coaching. And it blew his mind. And so if you have everything is, there's always going to be something to criticize, of course, and fine, do that, but always offer solutions. Never offer criticism. That's a rule that I've lived by for years. Never offer criticism without offering a solution, which is why all of my Eric July reviews, all of my Rippaverse stuff, it's not perfect, but I like it, but I want to make it better. So I say, here's what I think you could do to make it better. Eric is free to take it or dismiss it as he wants. He has never attacked me for it. In fact, I've been featured in some of his review breakdowns because they actually listen. They actually watch the videos, and I heard it from his mouth. We watch all of your reviews. Okay, great. So that should make me even more motivated, make all of us even more motivated to offer some criticism, but also offer a way to make it possibly better. And just leave it at that. That's it. That's all you gotta do.
Man, Barkley has some sage advice every once in then, dude.
Barkley's great,
he'll pull some gems out of nowhere, and I'm just like, there you go. And then every now and then he'll have something you're like, but he has some gems.
You did bring up a good point about the where criticism is in good faith.
Yeah. Well, I want to mention too is definitely the best thing you could do is provide a solution with criticism. But I don't think you always have to. I think just pointing out mistakes can be very helpful. Just so you're like, you're aware of it.
Agree, yeah.
Definitely the best thing is to have a solution. Just hey, look, I came with criticism. I didn't provide a solution. So it's like, but that was what my video topic was.
Not everybody's qualified to provide solutions either.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
You could, you can know something is wrong, but you're not entirely sure how to fix it.
It's fine to give feedback, criticism, however you want to call it. But if you just harp on it and just like stick on it, it's no longer a criticism or feedback. It's now like whatever you want. I don't know the freaking term for it. It becomes something. It becomes its own monster, which is worse.
Well, I will say, just as somebody who I actually wrote an article for Hollywood and Toto in 2018, a lifetime ago, talking about how you shouldn't just critique things. You should learn how to create your own stuff because you can't really understand how hard some of the things are, or in some cases how easy some stuff is. When it talks about printing in the book world, I know how to set it up so you can order books offline really easily, but everybody's like, oh, I have no idea where to begin. And it's like, well, part of the reason that you don't know where to begin is because you don't even want to try, and it's harder to try than it is to just sit back and be like, yeah, your stuff sucks.
Yeah, and let me tell you something too, along with that, man, it's kind of like I try not to pick on anybody or make fun of somebody based on their weight or whether they're in shape, any of that kind of stuff, because knowing all of the madness that I had to go through to even get to where I could do anything like that, I don't ever want. I just know I was in this hopeless situation, man, and I needed a replacement hip, all this drinking, all this other kind of stuff. It's just you never know where somebody else is in that kind of situation when somebody, I don't know. This is how I think, man, because I know about the kind of drive that it takes to do that kind of stuff, and it's similar in a creative process or getting motivated to go do anything, whether it be working out, writing, whatever. It just takes that motivation to get you to do that, man. And sometimes be it's a mountain. It's like a mountain to try to go and do it, man, because it's so hard to see anything except for that mountain, man. And you just like, I'll never be able to get past this mountain. And then when you're able to start going little steps and stuff like that, it's like, I don't know. I try to
I'll pretty much make fun of anybody for anything if they're coming after me with insults. Well, I got, because this has been happening. Tony's coming at me, insulting me, like just out of nowhere. I didn't insult him or anything like that, and he's throwing insults at my physical appearance and whatever. I'm like, okay, you just open the door. I'm coming at you, buddy. Your eyes are going in two different directions. I'm fucking hitting center. Like,
what's kind of funny, and this reminded me of that, man. It's like that dude Jay Bama fan. I would see him like on X, and he'd be talking about working out. So I just go in there and like comment on it, or just go in there about working out, because I don't, I haven't checked out. I'm all about Ripa's stuff, and I'm glad that he's doing it. I just hadn't gotten around to buying anything yet, so I don't really have any comment either way, man. It's just glad he's doing it.
I saw the weight loss image of that.
What's funny is like I got in there, and I know he's like, if it's kind of hard to understand unless you like are kind of in the South and understand the rivalry between the University of Alabama and Auburn. Like he's Jay Bama fan, meaning University of Alabama, and I know how they are. I'm an
LSU.
Auburn. I'm an Auburn. Yeah.
Oh, you LSU.
I know
I'm
the
an
image you're
Auburn
talking
grad.
about. I think that's
I'm
a
an
win
Auburn
too.
graduate and fan. So like I was saying all this stuff, and then he said something to me about Roll Tide, and I just was yeah, man, that's cool. Like I respect Bama fans. Like I'm an Auburn grad and fan myself. He never said another word to me because I know he hates my guts, not for Comicsgate stuff, but for the fact that I'm an Auburn University fan and graduate, man. Because
I
Alabama,
I can respect that.
Alabama fans, like
I actually agree with this a lot. You don't know this when you first lived. Like I moved down here during the years that President Obama was in office, and I saw all the Bama signs, and I'm like, wow, a lot of people down here sure like Obama.
Oh no.
No, that's funny. That's actually a landmark in Tulsa.
Before somebody corrected me.
Man, they take it.
That's a landmark in Tulsa. There's like a pie factory, so it's like a blue ribbon in the form of a circle. There's five like tall silos with ingredients in it. So it's O and then BAMA. So every time I go by, it's like is that for Obama? It's like no, Bama pies, you idiot.
What trips out, man, is like they take it personally if you're an Auburn fan. But I'm always so cool to people like that because, like, I mean, if you like that, that's cool. I remember I was at UAB doing something or another. It was like before I think it was after I had a stroke and they were checking out my brain. And this one dude had these like University of Alabama scrubs, and like they were red and all this stuff. And I thought it was like pretty dope looking. I personally can't stand their football team. I just cannot get into them, man. But I was like, dude, those scrubs are pretty cool. And he's like, yeah, you got to be careful. There's a bunch of Auburn fans here. And I'm just like, I'm an Auburn fan. Blue is my blood. I love blowing their mind because they don't understand because they hate Auburn fans. I'm sorry, man. I'm getting derailed.
So real quick,
football.
Does anybody even give a shit? The Acolyte was canceled. We know.
Nope.
This.
Not a single person here.
A lot of people.
I think a lot of people care. They're not going to make as much money for the no second season.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
The people who care are the YouTubers who won't be able to monetize it.
Listening to the description of this show, like I was just like when other people were talking about it, I was like slowly losing the will to live, and like I'm just like I can't. I can't do
because
this.
it actually. Here's the thing, man. My mom only moderately gives a shit about Star Wars. She really doesn't care. She's a huge MCU fan. Like she is an MCU fucking simp.
Nice.
Like she to the point though, it's not nice to the point where she's like, she thought like everything up until like Miss Marvel and the Marvels was good. It's like, well, it's not as good as the other stuff, but I still like it. You know, she's such a fucking norm. And I just, I want to strike her, but she's my mom and she's almost 70. So I can't.
Just let her watch her stories.
Dude, I worked in a lab with all these people.
Hey, no, she's a very lively 70s. She passes a Sprite 50-year-old.
Awesome.
I worked in this lab with a bunch of these girls, and they were like that, man. These people that were just like, and I remember this one redneck talking girl. She was just like, she was watching Star Trek Discovery, and all I was thinking was like, Nerdrotic. This was back in 2021, 2022, and I was just remembering Nerdrotic's description of it, and I'm just like, this is the most bizarre thing. And then they kept talking about, yeah, I went to go see Shang-Chi, and I'm just sitting there like, you guys paid money for that.
But here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. My mom tolerated. She's just now to the point where she thinks the MCU sucks. Now she saw Deadpool and Wolverine, and she's like all back in it. She's like, I told you it'd be good again. I'm like, Mom, you're not paying attention, but you know what?
Mother.
You're fine. I'm gonna get you a fucking Deadpool plushie for your birthday, and you can just sit over there and shut the fuck up because you don't know what the fuck's going on.
That's funny. That's hilarious, man. That your mom knows
phase,
that
Mom.
Listen, people
No,
say
that's
effing-
actually what I'm getting my mom for her birthday coming up in September is a Deadpool plushie. But anyway, then she's like, she's never really given a shit about Star Wars. I think it annoyed her because like me and my brothers, we were all like kids in the era where we all wanted the toys. So that was just a fucking annoyance with her was, oh, Star Wars something, get me that. So she kind of had a passing interest, and she's like, oh, I like the Mandalorian. I'm going to watch this one. I'm like, Mom, here's the thing. The Force is created by alien space witches, lesbian alien space witches.
There's a difference.
And the Jedis are actually the bad guys. She's like, no, you're fucking stupid. You listen to Donald Trump too much.
Man,
I'm not kidding. That is what she fucking told
Your
you.
mom?
Yes, she said, no, you're fucking stupid. You listen to Donald Trump too much.
Hey,
anytime
need to
I
strap
say
her into a chair and make her watch Alex Jones.
Now I'm again why you can't. Wait,
anytime I say something she doesn't like, she says, you're fucking stupid and you listen to Donald Trump.
Tell me why you can't. Wait. Tell me
I'm
why
just
you can't.
imagining Donald Trump reacting to the Acolyte. There's lesbian space witches. Okay, they're not sending their best.
Here's the
You should have said, "No, Mom. It's
every
Alex
time
Jones."
I say something that's stupid that she thinks I was told, secretly by Donald Trump, it turns out to be right. And this was the case. I told her what this story was about. She started to watch it, and she's like, "Oh my god, you're right. It's lesbian space witches, and it's unwatchable."
Tell me why you can't hit her.
Listen,
Because it's my mom, you fucking asshole.
Dude.
I'm not gonna strike my mother.
Stupid.
Iron, that's a breakthrough, man. She could be like, what else am I being lied to about?
Everything, Mom.
Dude,
you have no
Everything.
idea.
You should like casually
I
like
have
put Alex
tried.
Jones
There
on in
been-
the background for a couple of months and see what happens.
Oh, man, the closest I can get, the softest I've gotten her is to watching Tim Pool. Okay,
Oh, okay. I mean, that's good.
and
That's
that
baby's
hey,
first
that's a
libertarian.
little bit of a benefit because, like, she was over here just a few months ago, and we were watching our normal shows. She didn't like Jeremy from Geeks and D-Day Cobra.
yeah, because
she's
it's
like,
highly gay.
yeah, and she's like, well, he's a little worked up, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
But Tim Pool has that, milk toast, just fucking like soft, comforting, non-threatening, not quite white, not quite Asian appeal
The beanie.
to to your
He's got the
to your middle-aged, late middle-aged liberal school teachers like my mother.
I was going to say,
Like,
he's a classic
hey,
liberal who's,
yeah.
on the up and up with the cultural
Yeah.
shifts.
If she
Yeah,
starts
she
to
did
go in that
start digging
direction,
him.
man, you could ease in some Benny Johnson, man.
There you go.
Dude, that's what
I'm
I'm
guessing
man.
she's not a RK Outpost fan.
Oh fuck! Like I would even try that. She would just be like, "Why is this white kid yelling at me?"
Why is he cursing so much, man?
Because you
Look,
like the Acolyte mom.
It's
The
like my
Acolyte
mom
produced the best thing of 2024. That diss track was the highlight
That was
that we ever got.
hilarious.
Yeah.
But
She
not
was hot
the
in
way-
it. She was hot.
Yeah, if you can
She
get
doesn't
past
look
the
bad, I don't think.
dead-eyed
so.
stare.
I think hot. Period.
Oh,
man.
are we talking about old
Amanda
girl here?
Stenberg?
Yeah.
She has a
Yeah.
nice rack and a nice body. That's about it.
She's hot. I mean, I'm gonna call her.
She is.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna call
she
her, man.
is
She's
not an
hot.
unattractive girl. She's
Her-
just an idiot.
Her dancing was pretty unattractive, though.
It was not.
Yeah.
Bleh.
No. Why can't we go back to like actual dancing instead of the weird gyration? Just it's
Yeah,
just
that
It's not even sexy gyration. It's not even like
that thing. That ain't. Get out of here with that stuff, man.
it's like you're having a seizure. Like I
Well,
miss
you
it
know,
when I miss
what-
when dance
what I
moves in the
remember,
hips and
like-
the chest.
and for
Sitting on a jackhammer.
The Cabbage
Like-
Patch.
I'll be at risk of sounding old as fuck, but what I remember is when the attractive girls dance, like they would say that was like the money shot when they would do like the little ass bounce or gyrate. That would just be like the one shot, like you only get a second of it, and then that's it. And then it goes into the rest of the dance number.
Yeah.
Now it's
You
just
don't.
like that's the whole time, and you're just like overwhelmed to the point like, well, this is gross.
It's like watching Skinamax compared to like full-on internet porn, man. It's like good grief. I didn't know you had to show me that right at the
Right.
get out of good, whoa.
Right.
Well, the perfect
Right, like-
example
So
of like
Like
desensitized
if I'm
now.
sexy
watching
dancing
porn,
done right.
do I only want the penetration shots or do I want a little foreplay in between?
Little
Yes.
story, little background. What are your
Oh,
hopes and
wait.
dreams?
Well,
Why
the
is the
article-
plumber there? I need to know why the plumber's there. I need
No
to
way.
know.
What's his backstory, dude?
How many
the
kids
articles
does he
were better
have?
in Playboy than Hustler.
I mean, you're offering him sex, but he's got to put food on the table.
Has he got 5 kids to feed? You know,
Exactly.
Oh, he's got a sausage, all right.
we can already write us a better story, Darnell. We got it, man.
Hell yeah.
I
Here's
just
the thing.
remember the epitome of sexy dancing is Carmen Electra at the spring break thing where she came, I don't remember who it was. Came out in that brown bikini and like that the guitar's just wailing. It's like,
Yeah, it was
damn.
David Navarro.
I became a
wasn't
man. I think so. I became a man
how they
that
met.
day.
it? That's how they
The
met.
entire generation became men that way. Even women became men that day,
Oh god, that was so hot.
and not in the weird way. Well, yeah. Remember
Well,
when
so
sexy
we're-
women used to be sexy?
Nah,
Yeah.
dude, the best one of those was
Daisy
Chris
Fuentes.
Isaac's Wicked Game video.
Oh, yes, dude. I used to freaking to that song, that video so many times as a kid.
Telling you, dude.
What you used to have video?
Huh?
I didn't
What
mean to
did you
introduce
used
this
to-
topic. I'm sorry.
Dude, that video was. I used to always be like, "Yep, I'll be back in a minute, guys."
Yeah, dude.
All right.
Watch
Well,
the video and tell me
anyway.
you don't feel that.
Yeah.
Star Wars stands blame cancellation of the Acolyte on everything but ratings. I'm really tired of sharing the franchise I love with toxic, misogynistic, immature racists.
Well, at
Hey,
least we know
man,
they can hold up a mirror.
You remember Tiny Toons when it was the immature radioactive like samurai slugs? That's what that description sounded like. They're like we're superheroes. Immature, toxic, racist,
Well-
incels.
Immature, toxic, racist incels.
I think we have to go back. The generation or just the people that they're attacking are us, and it's really odd because we're the generation that grew up on Blade, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
There's one generation you do not want to go up against, and that's Gen X and early millennials.
Mm.
You
Mhm.
want to just sit
because-
down and shut up.
What all it
And-
is just they just say these words over and over again. It's like Marxist terminology and think that they'll stick. They just say it over and over and over. They think if you call the most non-racist generation that
Ugh.
there is racist and a bunch of fascists and all that.
Well-
Dude, we grew up, man. The
Oh,
90s
Sean.
was, man, go back, look at the 90s, man. Fresh Prince was #1. Everybody loved that
Yep.
show, dude.
Well, not
Get
we
outta
don't
here.
even have to do. We don't even have to
Family
go back
matters.
that far.
We
Just
can go
Star
back
Wars
a
is
couple
already
more
diverse.
generations, man. My grandfather, his favorite fucking show was Sanford and Son.
That was my favorite
Nice.
show when I was a kid. I love
Uh,
that show.
Chico and the Man.
When when my mom moved to Las Vegas to get a teaching position, the only thing he's like, hey, if you run into Red Fox, I'd sure love his autograph.
That would be awesome.
I mean, for fuck's sake.
Sister. That's a Raven.
Yeah.
See, man, we
Family
had
Matters,
Lori in the house.
you had the balance back then. Archie Bunker hated black people. George Jefferson hated white people, and Fred Sanford hated everybody. He hated everybody.
But at the same time, the moral of every episode was they didn't hate anybody.
Yeah, exactly. That's how. Yeah, it was.
There was always that more like they always overcame that weird the whatever there was.
It was never seen as a good thing. It was never a character trait. It was never a quality. It was never something that, oh, this is your identity. No.
Yeah.
Ooh,
no.
I see.
It was comedy.
Big Bad Toy Story.
But let's look at this. Why did this show fail?
Ugh.
Well, I mean, a lot of people say like those same reasons: racism, sexism, misogyny. A lot of people.
Yes.
The other people would say they had an open campfire in outer space in the vacuum.
This was just bad. Everything they're doing with Star Wars is bad.
Mm-hmm.
There's too much for normies.
Pretty much.
Like this,
I would go even further to say that it's freaking. It's like poison. It's like worse. It's worse than bad.
Even
it's
whatever
like
this is.
poison and cancer.
Well, I've called these what I've called these before in the past is cultural reparations.
Okay.
So like Leslie Henlin is a woman. She's a diverse woman of some spectrum, I assume. And
she's a queer woman of human trafficking.
Right.
She's a Harvey Weinstein raposexual.
Well, and like the idea is that you get, if you can't have a good, interesting story that genuinely appeals to people, okay, like Strider and I have talked about this with MSK about like doing the Jedi Academy series or something like that. You know, they have so much from the EU that they could adapt, you know, the Thrawn trilogy properly, you know, they have a lot of things, and they've kind of like taken some of the pieces and everything to this, but they just decided to go with the most diverse offering in the
right.
As far as, okay, well, we've got to get a BIPOC woman of color as our lead. We've got to get an Asian guy in there somewhere. You know, we've got to get 2 Asian guys in there. You know?
Well, they're getting money from BlackRock and other such to diversify.
So
it's free money for them.
It's kind of like that episode of 30 Rock where Jenna's in that movie where she's like, it's supposed to be a horror film, and like everybody, like if you go shoot it in Connecticut, you get $30,000. Talking about the great parks that Connecticut has to offer from the government, all these fundings, and like how you can do like it's a funny show that kind of points out that like you don't have to make good art to be profitable, but instead of making good art that includes these things that you want to highlight, these diverse qualities that you want to show in the best light, they've done the schlockiest thing of the schlockiest things, and it turned out terrible.
Like this is the epitome of fan fiction. Because it's so funny. All the themes that they try to tackle in this, like, what if the Jedi are bad? There's nothing that they can ever do that other stuff hasn't done before them. There's nothing that they tackled in this show that Knights of the Old Republic had not tackled 20 years ago with better writing and better characters. Even the Knights of the Old Republic, the original video game, was just as diverse, more diverse than this shit. Because this is only because there's no white men in this whatsoever. The only ones that are there get killed immediately, or they're background characters, or they're weak and ineffectual twinks.
If you want to get somebody excited about your freaking Marxism, just write a good story. And then somebody, you know, I'm not a Marxist, but you know what? That's a pretty good show. But instead, you just make like the worst garbage ever, man. It's just
Can we go back to the communists that wrote High Noon? And like, not Scarlet Letter, the other Puritan one, Crucible. Can we go back to that brand of communist creativity? I mean, they at least got some enduring films out of that, but like this is insane.
We've had Space Hitler. I want Space Stalin now. Okay.
I know
Right.
what.
I mean,
I know what. Why don't we try the same
And-
thing over and over again? It's sure to work the 5,350th time.
Well, Acolyte did.
Well, and
exactly
again, I think what this was just it was another blatant, like with Kathleen Kennedy's overseeing of Lucasfilm, that they hate Star Wars, and they really, above all else, hate Star Wars fans, and they want them to know it. It was just a complete fuck you in the face over and over with everything that they keep doing.
But it's on par exactly with what they're doing with the Snow White live action. The thing is with the Acolyte, in this case, is that finally hit the normies. The normies finally are seeing how trash Star Wars has become. They were kind of on board with the Obi-Wan show and the Book of Boba Fett, really were with the Mandalorian. But this is the moment where the normies finally looked at it and went, "Holy crap! This shit sucks."
Man, it made its way all the way over to Salty Cracker, and he saw that clip of them saying that stuff, and he was like falling out of his chair laughing when he saw it. He's like, "This ain't my thing, but look at this bullshit." He kept putting it up there.
What was so funny actually about that scene in particular, what bugged me is it was cringe as hell. But it was so incompetently done, because what they tried to do is they tried to have that chanting go along with the music. The problem is the behind the music track, they were singing the same thing that the people were chanting with the different tempo and a different speed, and it clashed so badly. I'm like, I hate this already, because musically it's a mess to listen to. It was an absolute garbage fire, because I didn't know what I was listening to. What am I supposed to listen to? Because there's a consistency. There's supposed to be some, like, the filmic language that you tell there, because obviously films and everything, films and TV are representative of, they're creative renditions of what kind of goes on behind it. It's all for dramatic effect. So usually the music accents a scene, or the music always goes under it. It should not conflict with the scene. It should not conflict with the scene whatsoever, especially when you have speaking. You don't have people speaking and then a song speaking at the same volume level. It does not work, because you don't know who to listen to. But they're saying something stupid, but they're also saying something stupid in double time, and it was a nightmare to listen to. Just for those 30 seconds, like, this is cancer.
It was offensive to all five. It was offensive to all five senses. The sixth and some other senses I'm not even aware of. When I watched it, it was just like, this is hitting me on. I can't. I was just like, oh god, it's almost like it's like I got radiation poison. I was, I got turned.
Well, considering
Kryptonite.
this, the witches are supposed to be misunderstood, but they're literal witches. They call themselves a coven. They're about to indoctrinate 2 10-year-old girls forcibly and not give them the choice. And because even at the end, she's like, "Oh, you won't really know what." Because in order to try to dissuade one of the characters from not going off to the Jedi, she says, "Oh, one day you may not always you may not always feel the same way you do now as an adult as you do as a child." But she's about to indoctrinate her into a coven that's about to die out because there's no men to reproduce with any of these people.
You know, it sounds like most
horrible.
California moms that want to trans their kids.
That was my next point. These people, right? This is who these California moms are. These are trans kids written by these California wine moms. Their characters are California wine moms. This is like leftist. This is left coast politics made manifest in artistic form, and it's hilarious because of how incompetent it was. Everybody is evil, and they don't know it. Not even the writers know it. Not even the characters can decide what's evil or not.
Well, and again, they lay right into that, to the trope that they're trying to, like, get against. That is, everybody right now, everything is good is evil, and everything that evil is good. So
It's
the
misunderstood.
Jedi are evil, the Sith are good. All of these things that
From
we're
my
right
point
now
of view, the Jedi are
experiencing
evil.
with the culture war, and they just laid into it like this is almost like parody. It's so bad.
Well, yeah, the Jedi hold some sort of power, kind of like similar to police. Therefore, they're evil. That's what they're trying to
and,
do.
and the
Yep.
good
They
people are
called
known
the
for
actors-
turning
actors
into
called them
They represent the church and the state and
Oh yeah, it's a religion.
police,
that's not
all
ran
that,
by those
yeah,
things.
and family.
Well, also forgetting the Jedi are the Jedi are like are the ones in authority, and these anti-authoritarians can't handle that. But even the Sith, because what was the, I don't know if anyone even watched those clips, because I did, had Manny Jacinto, the Sith thirst trap. Is trying to make it out to where him practicing his Sith version of the Force is I just want to be free to practice my own perspective and free to live my life. Like, forgetting the fact that we know the Sith produce death. The Sith produce the Death Star. The Sith produce the second Death Star. The Sith produce the Sun Crusher. The Sith produce the Dark Saber. The Sith produce, I'm going EU. The
Dark
Sith
Saber's
also
cringe.
produce.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not in the EU, not in the EU. It's like a giant Death Star laser, but weaker. But like the Sith produce the Death Stars of the entire universe. The Sith are the ones of death and destruction and subjugation, and we know this.
Even if you look at a Sith based on the EU that wasn't entirely evil or completely consumed, would be Jason Solo, but he still got succumbed by everything, and the only thing that could end that was Jaina Solo.
Yeah,
Luke even turned at one point.
Yeah. Kip Duran, Jolie Bindo was another one in the KOTOR universe. He was
stop,
a great
everybody!
Jedi.
Stop! There is no source material after
Katarn.
the
That's
movies
true.
that
That's
they
true.
could have gone off.
Man,
of.
can you
That's true.
imagine how awesome a Cal Katarn set of movies would have been with people
Hell
done
yeah!
right?
Yes,
Jedi Outcast 2.
Everybody fucking can.
Yeah,
I would love to
man.
watch a Koran Horn. I would just take Jedi and make a fucking trilogy out of it.
Dude, the Jedi.
No, better than that.
That's
Koran
my
Horn, the series Koran Horn came from, the X-Wing novels.
yeah.
Adapt
Well,
those.
yeah,
Top
the
Gun
Rogue
in space.
Squadron books.
Yes.
Yes, exactly what it was.
Great.
Except for one thing, Strider. There's too many straight white males in those.
Well,
We
there
can't
are.
have that.
Yeah, there are.
I
man.
don't. I honestly, I kind of don't understand why the left isn't super pro Jedi on this. I mean, the council was extremely diverse, and as soon as a white man was put on it, they wouldn't even let him be a master.
Because they are
Everything is
akin,
top.
because they are akin to Christianity, and they can't have that.
All right, let's everybody just calm the fuck down.
The council saw the one white dude. They're like, nah, you can't be master.
I'm taking this couch. That.
I love you.
Fuck off.
Babe,
we're
I like
thinking
how these wires are nailed to the ice. That's probably
Now-
pretty safe.
Good impression.
I have really gotten to the point where it doesn't matter what I walk past in a store, if it's Star Wars, even if it's like just based on the original trilogy, I recoil. I like, it's like a
Oh, you guys want to hear a cringy
can't-
story?
I can't enjoy anything about. I can't even watch the originals with that,
Yeah, I can't
especially with Mark Hamill the way he. It's all ruined.
Yep.
I hate fucking Star Wars now.
Now I'm more of a
But-
Star Trek fan than I am of Star Wars. And the whole point is I used to love Next Generation.
For now,
But now everything that these actors from Next Generation have come out and said, I can't watch the Next Generation anymore.
I know. I can't. I was
Well,
able to watch
and it
Picard
sucks
season
because
3, but
that
Yeah.
Picard season 3 was the shit. It was fucking dope. It was
Yeah.
great.
it was fan
But
service, and I
know
loved
what you
every
mean.
second.
Yeah, it was great. But let's give Battsauce. Let's hear what you had to
Oh,
say.
I was gonna say my brother is about to go to Disney World with his extended family.
Wow.
And he texted me. He's like, "Yo, what do you think about the Jedi lightsaber building experience?" And I'm like, "I really couldn't think about anything gayer that you could do with your time, honestly." And he's like, "Oh, to each your own." And like my brother was, right out the gate with Last Jedi, like fuck Star Wars, and I'm like, you're like fuck what they're doing, and it's like, why are you gonna spend that much money on such a lame experience? Okay.
You know what's funny is that Mark Hamill's done way more damage than Ryan Johnson.
Oh yeah, big time.
They both have.
Battsauce, I feel you. I went to Disney in January, and we went to all the parks. Spent the entire day at the Hollywood Studios. I spent maybe 5 minutes in Galaxy's Edge walking through
Ouch.
You mean Iraq?
Really not.
I went through it. I walked through it, and then when I came back, I went and got the A New Hope Luke Skywalker saber, and I just ran through as quick as I could.
Nice.
I wasn't, but I heard they're getting rid of Galaxy's Edge. They're going to change it to something original.
For this is one of those points. The comment was one of those points that I actually really hated that they did in the Acolyte, because the Jedi actually ask the parents. The parents will contact the Jedi Temple, and they will go and test the child, and then they will ask the parents if they have permission to take and train the child.
Yeah, well, they asked Anakin's mom.
Well, if you look, I mean, even if you look.
Sorry, they explain to the parents too, like if you decide to keep them, they will experience these things. They might be scared. They might need further help in the future. That kind of thing. It is like it's a bad faith interpretation of Jedi right there. So
bad faith. There you go. That's a key
Don't use that word. Don't use that word. That word doesn't exist.
And
in general, that's a big problem with culture today, is that so much of the goodwill and the good faith that we've had before in the 90s and the early aughts, even, it's been eroded away pretty well. So
yeah.
And for movie wise, Qui-Gon kind of does that with Shmi.
Yeah.
He does.
About that and essentially getting permission to take Anakin.
But the white slaves.
He
even has a conversation with Anakin. It's like, Anakin, training to become a Jedi is not an easy challenge, and even if you succeed, it's a hard life. So he says straight up to Anakin. I love that, because the Jedi they're not perfect, but the prequels already answered. The prequels already offered the criticism of the Jedi that the Acolyte tried to. But they did it better, because it's not endemic, because the failure of the Jedi is not endemic to the Jedi themselves. It's what they were allowed themselves to be used at the time, thanks to the Emperor, because they got way more involved in galactic politics than they ever should have, and so they became the arm. They became the arm of the Chancellor and of the Senate, which is not what they were ever meant to be. They're meant to be independent of that. But then, so they fell under the auspices of the Emperor, thanks to exigent circumstances like a galactic civil war, and so it rendered them completely vulnerable and completely blind to the rise of the Empire, and unable to see anything that happened. Especially a guy who's been planning this his entire life, and planning this. His master's been planning this his entire life. Passed on to Palpatine, who's planning it for his entire life, and on and on and on. It goes back a millennia since the fall of the first Sith. So. Again, everything that they are trying to say, oh, we're edgy and we're trying to make you rethink and we're trying to deconstruct everything. It's already been done by better people, but they're too dumb to realize that we remember this. They're too dumb to realize their audience already knows this. We've already seen this play out, and this is not fun to watch our heroes be destroyed in front of us. I don't like thinking of the Jedi as evil, human trafficking. Cops, space cops.
Know, man. To me, that whole anti-hero thing, I burn out on that when I went to go see what's that freaking what's that Zack Snyder movie, man? What is that Zack Snyder movie?
Is that Rebel Moon?
No.
Watchmen?
Yes, Watchmen. Like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I've had enough of the anti-hero for the rest of
that was actually done well.
Yeah, I liked Watchmen.
Here's the thing: Watchmen was groundbreaking for the time, because that hadn't been done before. Now
exactly,
it had been
overdone
over and over and over.
It's like every comic creator saw the success of Watchmen, and the skill of with which Watchmen was written is like, hey, let's do that. Except they don't realize they're not Alan Moore. They're not Dave
Yeah.
Gibbons. That's why Dave Gibbons was just a perfect choice for that book. Is he drew
And-
everything in a very recognizable style. Alan Moore's like, here's what I'm going to do with these guys.
To be fair,
Yeah,
they did
and,
it better
and you
than
can
Alan
still
Moore.
go into the
Al?
Watchmen and pick that thing apart and find all the
Yeah.
fucking bullshit easily.
Like,
But go
Alan
ahead.
Moore's interpretation of like he was like, you're supposed to be rooting against Rorschach, which
Yeah.
you know, like that was dumb.
they're
Like
rooting
no,
for
we
him.
Yeah.
yeah, we're rooting for him.
Yep.
So that was always interesting that
Yeah.
his intent was that.
And that was one of the reasons why I think, and I'm not a fucking Snyder simp at all, but I think that his movie was better than the comic books.
Oh yeah,
His
I agree.
movie was fantastic.
Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
all three
Better
versions.
ending.
I love that movie.
Better flow, better fucking description of what all is going
Mhm.
on. It did a lot. It did so much better. And I've had that comic book like years before the fucking movie.
Too much dialogue in the
I've
comic.
had mine for
Much-
15
much
years.
Text.
It's still here.
Much text.
Could have used a little less junk in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little,
right.
little less big blue dick. That would have been nice.
Yeah.
I think it was a perfect amount.
Some of us feel
No.
inadequate, okay.
I
The
could have
perfect
used
length
more.
of Big Blue Dick.
God. Did anybody watch the show? Holy fuck!
No.
Oh my god!
So
Watching the
bad.
series.
I heard it was so
You want to talk
anti-white. I
about
was
where
like, fuck,
they
I'm done.
try to then turn everybody against Rorschach by making him a race
Oh,
a
it's
racist
the whole
symbol.
thing.
My anger, I got through the opening with the whole Tulsa thing, which I understood because I grew up in that part of the country,
Mhm.
so that was a normal part of the curriculum.
Yes.
We all learned about the fucking Tulsa
did.
Black Wall Street massacre, how bad it was. Feel bad about this, you fucking white kid. Feel bad.
The
I
only
did.
reason that
I
was there
still
was Damon
do.
Lindelof.
But and after that, once it got past that one scene, fucking lost me and went into the turning Rorschach into the KKK. Get the fuck out of here. Rorschach is just anti-establishment fucking. I mean, he, like you said, he's the hero you're not supposed to root for, but you do.
Well,
because
Alan Moore's
he's
like,
the only one that makes sense.
yeah, and Alan Moore's like, well, I made him smelly, so obviously you're supposed to not like him. It's like, okay, so
He's an underdog.
That's not an
yeah.
indication that
Well,
he's a bad
honestly,
person.
that's the thing. Everything that he
Weird.
believes, it makes it easier to believe. Everything, it makes it easier for us to relate to him because he's down in the gutter. He has
Right.
come up with everything
Yeah.
because of life experience. That
He's not
says
taking
that
care of
speaks
himself
volumes.
because he's taking
Yes.
care of others.
That's why we don't side with Ozymandias. He's an elitist, rich asshole. We don't
Yes.
give a shit what he thinks. We don't
I
give a shit
never
about his
I
philosophy.
never
Yeah.
understood that. I always thought that the whole purpose of the book is you're supposed to be seeing it through Rorschach's eyes
Yeah.
and fucking relating to and rooting for him up
Yep.
until the end. The fact that he's willing to die to let people know the truth. He would rather die than live a lie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What the
Listen,
Yeah,
fuck?
that's very.
This
very
is the
honorable.
guy that Alan Morris is like, well, you're not supposed to root for him. Are you fucked up?
That's the
Dude,
Well,
same.
it's funny. He definitely was. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I can relate to like him eating beans out of a can, straight out of a can, man. I was just like,
You
yeah.
should know he's a bad guy then. You know, who does that?
That's true.
He even asked, "Hey, I helped myself to some beans. I hope you don't mind."
Exactly. That's how I'd be doing. I was like, I'm sorry, I opened up this can of Ames. You ever done that at somebody's house, ate, and then they're just, wait, I had that?
What I
And I'm
fucking
like, yeah.
what I fucking hated was, and I didn't read the books. I was told about this secondhand, so maybe this isn't true. But what I was told is that in the later, like when they incorporated the Watchmen universe into the mainstream DC,
Oh yeah.
within the whole multiverse and variants, kind of similar to MCU, that Rorschach is a heroic version of Joker. Is that true?
I think they tried to make him. They tried it. It failed.
Okay,
No.
good. Because
I don't
yeah,
know,
fuck that.
I know he's a different guy. It's not Walter Kovacs. It's a
Yeah.
different guy taking on the mantle of Rorschach. So I that's all I know about it. I haven't read the Doomsday Clock series.
There was talks of that's what they wanted to do, and it wasn't catching on. So they kind of like
Well, yeah, the him and Joker were supposed to have be like on the have some weird
romance. Yeah.
I mean, they both deal mostly with
co-identity.
like chaos. Like
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I can understand that from a D&D perspective. If you think about chaotic good, chaotic evil.
Sure.
Look at our party.
Rorschach absolutely represents chaotic good, while Joker is absolutely chaotic evil.
If Rorschach's
Yeah, I would
anyone
actually
in the
say
DC
that like Rorschach is more inclined to like try to sort out chaos. Like he sees it as an enemy that he has to fight with more than like Joker uses it as a weapon.
Yeah, that's right. That's a chaotic good and chaotic evil.
Yeah. If Rorschach's anyone in the DC universe, it's that guy with that faceless mask, the detective.
The Question.
Well, that's who he was based on. Well, that's the thing about the Watchmen. All of the heroes that they're obviously caricatures of other more well-known hero archetypes. The only reason that even became the way that it is because the Alan Moore DC was like, yeah, we don't want you doing this story with our heroes. Invent your own. So Rorschach was based on The Question. Comedian was based on Rick Flag. Night was obviously Batman. Silk Spectre obviously
Batman and Blue Beetle.
Yes, Batman and Blue Beetle. Silk Spectre was not Wonder Woman. It was a couple other people. Then Ozymandias was kind of like this. Was more of the.
I thought it was like a Batman Superman mix.
I guess yeah. They're all like their own heroes, and they're all
like
kind of
mixtures.
Yeah, but they're
all
we
anagrams of different.
We recognize the archetype. Yeah, which is why Dan Dreiberg was so much fun because he's a self-made guy. He built everything he has. He built this huge hovercraft. It looks like an owl that they drove for like 5 seconds in the Watchmen show and then crashed. We didn't know how the hell they got there. It's never featured again. I was like, oh. Thank you for the Easter egg. We appreciate the little fan service.
The Watchmen show, God damn it!
It's just this wasted opportunity. What made it actually? Because I lived in Tulsa at the time, and like as a Tulsanite, I've lived there my entire. I've lived there for most of my adult life, and I love that town. But again, like you, Iron, we know about the Tulsa race riot. We also know that it was forgotten for a very long time, and we also know why it was forgotten because neither side, nor the Black Wall Street side, nor the white side, wanted to inflame tensions further. Because all of a sudden everybody just stopped fighting because they realized there's no point. Nobody pursued reparations on either side because they didn't want to inflame tensions any further. It was forgotten about for a few decades until David Whitlock brought it up during an election year. Biden latched right onto that like a lamprey on a shark, and of course made it part of his campaign stops for the 100th anniversary of the 100th anniversary of Tulsa Race Riot. And here's
I'm going to disagree with you right there, man. Which is weird because you were actually in Tulsa, but the surrounding cities, from elementary school education, we had to know about. Like that was a normal fucking thing.
Really, y'all knew that
we had to know about. Yeah, and
that was just a Tulsa thing. Yeah,
and once we got into junior high, they like interviewed survivors and shit. Yeah. Like there was we had a whole week of just mind-blowing depression. So, and this
fun.
So here's how this fucking week went. We thought whole week without classes. Yay. Week 1, Holocaust survivors.
Oh,
okay. Week 2, it was fucking Japanese people from the from the internment camps, which I got to admit that Japanese dude, the fucking coolest thing I ever saw was a 5'2" Japanese guy with a fucking 10-gallon hat and cowboy boots with a Texan accent talking about, well, before I got my ranch and when I grew up over here, me and my folks were putting that old camp over there, and then I was just like, fucking this guy. He was awesome. And then it was the Tulsa survivors. So we went through a whole week of just wanting to just, self-delete.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's history that needs to be told. Absolutely.
And that's
my
that's
point
why
was that Damon Lindelof treated as like, oh, I read about the Tulsa Wraith. The only reason he even set the Watchmen show in Tulsa which by the way was not filmed in Tulsa, was because he just read about the Tulsa race riots and wanted to incorporate it in there somehow. So, but he acted like this white savior, like nobody knew about the Tulsa race riots until I put it in my show.
Yeah, motherfucker.
That's the attitude he had, and it pissed me the fuck off because I knew exactly why he was doing it. Like, how
remember when
dare
Obama
you
had
use
Robert
this?
Byrd in his cabinet?
Yeah,
the Cyclops of the KKK.
Yeah,
right.
It's like, isn't that funny how
for God's sake?
Isn't that funny how that works?
Yeah,
well,
it's almost like they're the racists.
Well, again, remember back at that time during the 1920s, you still had people who remembered the Civil War. You still had Civil War veterans that were still alive. Like, but and that's those attitudes. And Oklahoma was still kind of part of the South. It was Indian territory at that point, but it was still like kind of a Confederate associated, even because Texas was a Southern state too. And so you see a lot of that influence cross over. And there was, I mean, down in the South in the 20s and the 30s, man, there were so many nasty lynchings happening. It was kind of abysmal. But
my thing is if they were gonna bring that whole Tulsa storyline in, make it seem fluid and not forced. Everything about that show was just forced. You know, I'm gonna make you look at all these
presented
atrocities
with all the subtlety of a freight train hitting a china shop in a tea factory.
Also, don't forget that we're gonna make
Dr. Manhattan have so much white guilt that he turns into a black woman.
Oh, listen to say nothing about what they did with not the guy with the noose around his neck.
Yeah.
God, what's his name? Hood of Justice. Yeah, Justice Smollett. But with Hood of Justice, they made him into the way they did with his character. They made him, because it's very clear he is a German guy with kind of some white supremacist attitudes in the book, but they rewrote it to have him be a survivor of the Tulsa race riot in disguise, who painted his area around his eyes white and affected a German accent in order to be Hooded Justice, to be kind of a mirror image, to be a reverse, like a photo negative KKK. Like, how the hell do you justify that looking at the rest of the book? How does that work?
All of those ideas could be cool if they were executed correctly.
Could be, yes.
Yes. I will say one of the reasons I think manga is so popular is because we are further, like we're geographically far away from Japanese politics. Like one of the things I really love is Studio Ghibli, and like Spirited Away is about child trafficking actually. And like you'd never pick that up from the movie if you just watched it, like as an American. You might have more of an inclination if you were like
we almost know nothing about any of the manga artists.
Really?
Like Berserk, like there's like maybe one interview you can find like of that manga writer, and it's the number one manga. Like,
well, One Piece is the most popular property in the world. We don't even know what the author looks like.
Yeah,
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's just kind of how it is over there.
Does anybody know what the fuck Dustborn is?
Oh,
Because
God.
I've seen it on Twitter a little bit.
Yourself. Do you think the Acolyte is bad? This is worse.
Well, I'm really like I'm not totally familiar, so I'm just gonna let Ryan Kennel share with us.
This is not a satire, by the way. This game is real.
When you create a product, whether it's a comic book, a TV show, a movie, or a video game that is specifically catered to the smallest possible percentage of people in the world, with identity politics in mind ahead of entertainment, you shouldn't be surprised if no one's actually interested in your product. If the only people that actually want this are the ones that are already down with your agenda. And that's exactly the case for the game Dustborn, which just released the other day. And already it's pretty crystal clear this thing is a massive failure. The wokest game ever,
We got to give Ryan Kennel just And the funny thing is, man, he's doing these videos while he's live streaming and just goes into video mode.
Really?
Wait, I want to say something real quick. I feel like every time I see Ryan on camera, every single time his forehead just gets a little bit taller.
A little bit, yeah.
He'll be conehead in a few months.
I mean,
like,
as someone with receding hairline,
is his
myself,
hairline
I identify.
is his hairline receding, or is his brain getting bigger?
It's well,
He's
also
got brain
the camera.
swelling from all the drinking, is what it is.
Well, I mean,
all
we
focus
met him in
here.
real life.
He's onto something because, like, if this is like the woke crowd tends to be more socialist, communist minded, and they don't use money for anything.
No,
like
of
they're used
course
to
not.
people that they're used to being the people that like don't buy anything. So
But why is it that these companies keep
Worst
chasing?
person.
Why do these companies keep chasing an audience that doesn't buy anything and doesn't have money?
It's
Well, I don't know
all
if he's gonna
about
mention
the
it.
message, man. It's
Well,
all
that's
They
the
get
thing.
money.
that
They get money from BlackRock or others.
Well,
I don't think
researched
worse
this
than that,
thing
actually.
a little bit before the show, and I like. Here's the thing: I'd seen posts on X, like scrolling past, and there's like this morbidly obese brown person with a baseball bat or just something. I'm like, is this an? I thought it was just bad AI art. Like, hey, look at this fake rendition of a Sweet Baby Inc. game. I didn't know it was fucking real.
Hey,
I
show this real
didn't
quick
know
for
it was
Battsauce.
real.
you'd be surprised at what is real. Once you figure out how to like put stuff together, it's not actually hard to do stuff like this.
Well, it's like all the people who made this, they received a paycheck, and it's from these big corporations, probably some in China.
Worse than that.
who's funding them? Who says like if you're meeting a diversity quota, we will give you this much money, and
So
then they
this
end up
was
not
made by-
profiting.
Well, this was made by Quantic Dream, who this was made with tax dollars, by the way.
Yes,
This
I
was
was
made with
gonna
tax
say,
dollars. This
this-
was not made
this
with
is-
investor money. This was tax.
This is Ryan in 30 years.
Awesome.
Like
this
anybody who
Tyler
lived through like
Franklin.
the 2008-2009 recession should know like too big to fail is still a thing. They just
Yeah.
don't advertise it as such. It's all in the tax dollars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what Pocahontas said.
We are
All right,
we are
let's
going
hear-
to watch.
let's hear,
Yeah.
has abysmal player numbers on release day. And here we are, the day after release. It's been out for the second day now. Oh, 67 people playing as of 10 minutes ago. Congratulations. Just off that record high of 75. 75 people playing the game on Steam. And I'm sure there's a handful of others on PlayStation or Xbox or wherever else it may be released. But holy shit, that is embarrassing. But once you understand what the game is actually about, you'll realize why no one actually wanted to play it. Red Thread Games recently released Dustborn, which has been described as the wokest game ever, has not even hit over 100 concurrent players on its release day. And obviously, this is not some massive, big budget AAA game. It's a small game. But even for small games like this, you need more than 75 fucking people to give it a shot, or else it will be a spectacular failure. Back in July, following the release of the game's trailer, a representative for the game conducted an interview with PSU and confirmed the entire game spawned out of protest against Donald Trump being elected president of the United States in 2016. And this was that official launch trailer. You can see massive ratio. It's a game where essentially everyone is queer and you're fighting fascist cops. Oh, and by the way, words are weapons and they can be used to change the world or harm other people. It is just very cringe when you even just listen to the description.
It gets worse when you see it
some of the
played.
gameplay where
Yes.
the words you use are actual weapons, and they're all they all have to do with like queer theory.
Well,
Well,
so,
that's just an inversion too.
gendering and
Violence
so
is
on.
violence, but
Remember-
words are
remember-
violence. But actual violence is just expression.
Right. Remember in the group chat, I think in the group chat, someone shared a video of the main chick. You go selecting the person selecting triggered, and she tells one cop he talked shit about you in front of civilians. Then you look at that slide, they both pull guns out and kill each other, and she just like walks away.
No, that is one of dozens of examples like that. You can gaslight people, you can manipulate them, you can take over their entire personalities and bend them to your will at will. These people are the villains. They are the bad guys. They're the ones who control everybody's emotional state, mental. She This lady even tries to call the cops, tries to call like those same cops, "You're racist," as a way to trigger them. There she is intent. These people are villains of the worst order. I remember anyone remember Jessica Jones, the Purple Man, played by David Tennant? That's these people. They are manipulators of people's free will. These people, their victims, never choose to do anything that they do, and you can even gaslight or emotionally abuse your own allies. Like, this is the wokest game ever. You're damn right it is. This is the epitome of wokeness, and I almost piss myself laughing every time I see a clip from this, because these people have no self-awareness, and Ryan's probably gonna go into more details. It's gonna be great. But this is real.
And here's where he talks about Donald Trump. The representative revealed the game was inspired by the election of Donald Trump. The idea behind Dustborn's setting and characters was also influenced by a series of political events that deeply affected us all, beginning in the summer of 2016 and continuing until, well, today. And game developers, we wanted to tell a story that felt relevant and thematically tied with a cast of characters that could more accurately represent our player base and the setting, and to hopefully have some positive impact on the world, in addition to being an entertaining game. Yeah, entertainment is secondary compared to the message you're trying to push, and just look at some of these reviews. Dustborn let me smash fascist and flirt with my situationship on a road trip across America. The future is queer if you're along for the ride.
Yeah,
Dustborn is a narrative-driven action-adventure road trip across a zany dystopian America. Undercover as a punk band on tour, this group of outcast queers, I said everybody looks queer in the game, it's because everyone is queer in the game apparently, outcast queers and exploited workers fight fascist cops and smash corporate drones while navigating new and evolving relationships. And yes, again, as they described, words can be used as weapons. That's the strongest, powerful thing in the world. There's a bunch of features.
Can't we just have fucking blood and big titties back in video games, please? Is that too much?
No, we've got to have no titties and a gigantic people who look like whales. That's what we get today.
No, I just want a fucking a solid escapism story with a little bit of cheesecake and a lot of blood. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, there was a great clip from Savvy. I was watching some of her playthrough, and there was a line with the robot. They're trying to figure out. They did the same thing that they did in the Acolyte. Is he, they, one of us? They did the same thing at the robot. It's like, what are you? He, she, robot. What are you? I am a robot. I do not ascribe to any gender. Now that is correct. That would be a correct thing for a robot to say. You cannot be male or female robot. But then you have some asshole off screen saying, "Oh yeah, good job," and Savvy just like got up from a chair, is like, "Ah!" Because obviously they're trying to get a point across. Like, it's a non-binary. Oh, good job, good for you. It's a fucking robot. That's the worst point you can make for this. Yeah, exactly. That's what it reminded me of. This game just makes me laugh. I can't.
Well, like, for what it's worth, one of the things that the thing about like the message and the entertainment thing is like there should be some form of message in your entertainment for what it's worth, because there always is. And the whole thing about the like the woke is just that it's focused on like equity and diversity and kind of like the buzzwords of the day, whereas like good literature and good stories are timeless things, like good conquering evil, the trials of growing up, the cost of sacrifice and suffering.
Yeah.
These things, like if you don't have, like you can have lots of fun things. Like if it was just purely about entertainment, it'd be like stringing like all the TikTok algorithms together and trying to make a story out of it. So I understand like most people are upset that the entertainment comes second, but the message and the entertainment have to be, they have to be related to be good. So. Here, I don't think that it looks particularly entertaining because there's a lot of plot holes, like right off the bat. It's like if words are your weapons, like when other people use them back, and that could, like, if it's not distributed equal, it doesn't seem very well thought out. So
that's the thing.
That's
the words. Well, you're exactly right about that, because the words are weapons thing are only weapons for her. They're not weapons for anyone else. Only
they
she
explain
gets to use. I don't even know. She has some kind of superpower, but they kind of try to shoehorn we're almost an X-Men kind of thing. And I think one of the creators even mentioned something like that. Oh, we're the exact same as the X-Men.
Yeah.
Where you're persecuted for having powers, and so, but also in the middle of in a society that they call the Puritans. I wonder what they're trying to say here, where all of it is basically their ridiculous vision of what Trump's America was, except Trump's America has not been a thing for 4 years and will be for 4 more and before too long. But we haven't.
Was what they thought it was.
It never was what they thought it was. Not even once.
The thing too is that like people wouldn't be persecuted for having power. They'd be persecuted for using the power wrongly. So I think that's the big difference too.
The thing is, this person absolutely does use the power wrongly. She's a supervillain. She is a narcissist. She is a nihilist, and nobody else matters. Nobody else's feelings matter. There's no wrong answer, but no matter what, you get to the solution. The outcome is always the same, but you determine how you make people feel about it. And so that kind of is weird, because if all the outcomes are always the same, then what's the point of trying to preserve or hurt someone's feelings? There is no moral choice here. It's the morality that they're obviously trying to inject into this by saying the word to power. They don't even have the balls to show the consequences or the benefits of one choice over the other, because the solution is always the same. No matter what, you will achieve your objective. It's the worst kind of choice in that it doesn't matter, but it's also they have something to say that also they can't say because the mechanics won't let them. It's just so stupid.
It seems very self-defeating and very kind of circular.
It's connected to the idea
at the same time.
Yeah.
Idea of weaponized words and how words have the power to change the world. Listen, I would never be interested in a game like this. Clearly not made for me, but apparently it's not made for fucking anyone. What an absolute failure. And again, not every game has to be a massive AAA big budget success, whatever. But 75 players on opening day, that's fucking rough. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.
This game,
see you in Vegas next year.
This game,
everybody, everybody's already subscribed to RK Outpost. Why am I even fucking saying that? But
I was gonna say,
there it is.
That's
Dustborn. Now, here's the thing: Dustborn is a small little fragment in a much larger problem. What the problem I'm looking at are problems that are bleeding into games like the new Star Wars game, where the woman has, the very masculine jawline and can just judo chop a fucking stormtrooper into submission. We've got the Wolverine game coming out that should be a dream come true, but it's not going to be because of Sweet Baby Inc.'s influence. It's DOA. You've got, you've already seen what they're doing to Jean Grey and Psylocke, two of the most attractive female characters in comic book history, are being made to look mannish and frumpy and are going to overshadow the character that you're playing as. Then we've got everything else has just come out. Spider-Man with Mary Jane, and she looks like Rocky Dennis, for fuck's sake.
She looks like that dude.
And they
Robert Zadar.
Looks like that.
She is supposed to be. The whole thing is he's a fucking dork who is engaged to a supermodel actress. That is the whole thing. And everybody around Peter Parker wonders, how the fuck are you engaged to a supermodel actress? Well, the fucking reason is Spider-Man, motherfucker, and he can't tell you because he's busy saving your fucking life.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we're going to make her a fucking, a box head Lego character with no tits and give her fucking Lois Lane storyline, only a complete knockoff derivative of it.
Oh, and dedicate a very large section of gameplay in a Spider-Man game to a sneakathon where you don't even it's the most boring stealth section you've ever played.
Oh, and not to mention only that, but you also get to play as a fucking deaf character spraying graffiti on a wall.
I forgot about that.
Haven't
I'm
gotten
not making that up.
Yeah.
Where they turn the volume off on the game so you can spray paint on a wall and not hear shit.
I'm just surprised they haven't had like the wheelchair bound Spider Girl.
I want to play. I
be a
don't even,
deaf,
dude. At
graffiti
this
artist?
point, fucking playing as Miles Morales is better than doing this bullshit.
Maybe that was the point. Make you so bored with everybody else. Suddenly, Miles Morales seems cool.
Oh, going for the
fuck, they did that, didn't they?
Obama thing. Well, I'm not the worst. Look at Joe Biden.
Now, I'm sorry, CJ. You're the only lady on the panel, but I gotta know: are the masculine jawed, unattractive females more relatable? Like, is that something you gravitate toward more than like for me, like as a guy, if I'm like reading a character that I want to fucking enjoy, I want this motherfucker to be ripped to the level I could never dream.
Yeah.
Like,
I want him to be Broly.
the biggest fucking badass that I will never fucking be. I want Wolverine. I want Batman. I don't want me. I don't like me.
Well,
I want something to enjoy. I don't enjoy myself.
The point of being relatable is that you're not aspirational. Okay, so like, you can have these like average looking women, and that's supposed to make you like, on some level, feel better. Maybe if you're a woman, see, like to me as a game, it's like I don't care. But also, like, I don't have a lot like the whole like women hating video games thing. I totally understand why women hate video games. And it's not because like women are bad at it. I know a lot of very good gamers. It's just it is a thing that takes attention away from me, and as a woman, I hate that.
There it is. We've heard.
Like Miles Morales
that is confirmation of the thing we've always thought this whole time. Okay.
But you got to understand, we can't have 24/7 you. I mean, just as long as you're like Patrice O'Neal said, if you're somewhere in the domicile, like, I mean, you could be in the vents or something, as long as you're like, there, that's cool.
Yeah, well, I figure in some level it's very similar to like homemaking. Like men don't really think about everything that goes into like making a home. Okay, and I say this as like a homeschooling mom and like somebody that I'm the stay-at-home sex goddess. That's what I do.
We do that.
Like the things that I have to do is like I pay the bills, I buy the food, I make the food for dinner. Like a lot of stuff goes into this thing, but you come home from work and you only see the food. Like
yes.
So like when you're talking about video games, like sharpening your mental acuity and developing strategies, and like if it's a communal thing, like this is the social time that you have with your friends. I, as a woman, am not seeing this. I'm seeing
all of that's a cop out.
Everything
is mentioned about like sharpening acuities and social
that's all bullshit.
Social interaction a little bit. The main thing is to just get the fuck away for 5 minutes. Just get away.
It's like that's one of the things about.
I'm telling you the truth. That's the.
Yeah, I know you are, and I'm going to explain that a little bit. So, like, my background is in teaching, and they have the idea of free play, like recess, is actually very important to the development of children because it gives them the ability to exercise their autonomy and control and independence. Okay, so these are things that like all those people who hate recess should just go away, and it's the same thing for men and for women. Is you lose yourself to find yourself. It's this idea that you escape from your world to understand your world better when you come back to it, and that's actually like a hero's journey. It's tied into literature too, and that's why a lot of women like to read more than they like video games, and that's why a lot of the aspirational sort of writing that we don't have today goes into a lot of our narratives. And then, like I said, the idea of becoming more relatable, is actually not helping people today. So the with the things like with the Mary Jane ugly thing and ugly mug thing and the women characters being featured, first of all, they're cheapening Mary Jane as like a woman. Like, she is supposed to be a model of beauty, and beauty as this hearkening, like the word for beauty in Greek is kalen, and it's like this. It's talking about calling to your soul to reawaken this sort of beauty and aspirational goodness. Like I said, this aspirational ideal. The fact that Peter Parker has her and he has something worth fighting for means that he has something worth suffering and working towards. That is something that gives men purpose. That gives people purpose. Is like, nobody says that their children are ugly. So women feel the same way about their babies. My babies are beautiful.
I was muted, but yeah, that's really probably
wrinkle in my brain. Damn.
I was always told I was an ugly child.
Dude,
came out. His head was all
speaking of women, let's check out just check out my
like I said, I was gonna say, so like my advice to men who like video games and have to play video games a lot and their wives don't like them, one of the biggest things that you can do to offset this is to just organize your stuff. Clean your stuff, organize your stuff, throw your laundry in the correct bin. And this will offset so much.
So just don't be a sloppy piece of shit and you can play your video games a little bit.
Exactly.
You see my bookshelf? It's organized by alphabet. So yeah, I'm good. I'm good, ladies.
No, I can tell you as
I look at it, I've always been tidy, and my wife likes when I play video games because she likes listening to go to sleep.
Nice. That's kind of sweet, actually. That's really sweet.
I just kind of hit the jack. Dude, I've tried to get her to play she liked playing Skyrim, but all she likes doing is like taking the most ridiculously scantily clad, sexualized female character, posing them on like a mountaintop or next to a lake and taking a bunch of screenshots. And then
she's having a photo shoot in Skyrim.
Walk around the town a little bit and maybe buy some shit. But then as soon as we get close, she gets close to like a battle, she's like, oh no, I'm getting dizzy here. And I have to take the controller.
If you ever need an example of how men and women play differently, right there, you just got it.
Dude. And I'm telling you, man, because I play a modded out Skyrim, and some of my
that's the only way to play it. It's a whole new game.
I was embarrassed about these are these armors came with a package. I didn't download them individually. I swear to God. And she's like, no, I like those. Like, oh, really?
How can I get them? Oh, okay. Well, I should have asked you.
Okay, there's only it's heavy armor, and it's just tit rings and some chainmail on the arms. It's like, no, she looks hot. I want to take a picture of her by the lake. Okay,
exactly. It's a photo shoot.
I mean, that's kind of a different topic anyway. Women playing video games. So it's like I'm fine with Pokemon Go, and that's about the only thing I play.
Am I alone on this? My wife plays way more video games than I do.
She can't really go full into a video game. I wish she could.
Yeah. Well, I said, a lot of it has to do the relatability thing is what bothers me. It's like you should I can't imagine a woman hating the idea that she's this, like I said, this pinnacle of beauty and an aspirational point for her husband to try to, or boyfriend try to be worthy of. Like, who doesn't want to be worthy of your love and your attention and your dedication and your suffering?
Do you think that women, because obviously there are some people who hate that. I don't know. Why do you think that why do you think that is?
A lot of it has to do with the idea that beauty is rooted in beauty is reflected in goodness and truth, and it's all rooted in love. And I think a lot of women do have like some sort of self-hatred. And I know that women encourage self-hatred, and we've all seen Mean Girls, I'm sure. And there is this like sort of
I was married.
Yeah,
once, I think.
it's kind of weird. It used to be the more attractive girls were the meanest. Now
Yeah.
it's the most unattractive girls are like the meanest and king
Yeah,
of
man,
the
that's
thing.
you're messing up that equation, man. You gotta have.
What do you got here,
Well, it used to
Diesel?
be.
You've been dying to share this. What is this?
funny joke.
It's a funny joke.
The first all-female spacewalk is underway.
I saw that earlier. I thought it was hilarious.
No, that's pretty funny.
It just caught me off guard.
Satellite dishes need washing.
Well,
Dude, save some of this fire for space jockeys, man.
Yeah, beauty is its own kind
Don't
of
blow
power.
your load here, buddy.
No, I just saw that earlier. Thought it was funny, and you said something about memes,
great.
and then
was good.
Well, and like the thing,
CS started talking about women, and I was just like, immediately, like I
you're
started
prepared for
thinking about other stuff, and like, and then I was like,
like the thing about being beautiful though is not like it's not necessarily just like what you see. It's a reflection of radiance and wholeness and like I said, excellence a lot of the time. Like a lot of the stuff that's made today doesn't look like it's excellent. It looks cheap. It doesn't look like it's been cared for appropriately.
everything's disposable.
No,
It looks like it is very disposable. It was very quickly done. It was done by people who, even if they are passionate about their jobs, a lot of them may not be at the top of their game, or they might be using that like this looks cheap or this looks awful because like they might be using the the like screw the patriarchy kind of thing as an excuse. So
yeah, that's what I think a lot of it is. I'm gonna make this look as horrible as possible to give a middle finger to.
Yeah, we gotta own the chuds.
Well, and I think a lot of it just comes down to like fundamental misunderstandings about human nature in general.
And they don't understand that at all. They don't. We grew up in a time where we had stories where the most attractive characters in the stories were also the most evil and the most manipulative and everything else. And
well, like even with like even like power does not necessarily mean that you're a hero, and just because you can do something doesn't mean that you are a hero. Like if you have all this power and you can save someone and you're not, and you just do it because you're like supposed to do it. Is it the same thing as like Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2 running into the burning building when he can't transform like into Spider-Man because of his emotional block? I mean, that's different kind of heroism. That's something that heroism is versus what heroism appears to be.
Yeah, good reference.
A very good reference, man. I want to watch that movie again. Oh, Spider-Man.
Me too. No, because it's funny because I haven't seen that since I was a kid, and I'm just remembering all these beats that I'm remembering all these beats that are like, wow, that's deep. That's really, really good. That's excellent.
You just said you haven't seen that since you were a kid. Me, Darnell, and Diesel and Arrow.
That's
are
why
like,
I rolled my eyes.
You.
And I had a kid when I watched that.
That's the thing. Because everything that I've been watching has been like new MCU stuff, and I haven't really gone back to the Spider-Man films in a very long time, and I need to. Because especially that scene, it is.
I don't know. I like
it. Was my.
Too, though,
I watched it.
I
a
think
dozen times.
if I'm gonna rank my favorite superhero movies of all time, it's gonna be like if I'm gonna go 5 in no specific order, it'll be Iron Man 1, The Dark Knight, Logan, Spider-Man 2, Deadpool 2.
The Dark Knight is actually
America's underrated.
Winter Soldier, and I'd put Winter Soldier in there along with Iron Man.
You know what? If I'm gonna put a Captain America movie, I'm gonna put Captain America: First Avenger because bring back period pieces.
Yes, please.
I love
that. Was a great. There were great moments in that film, but it was just like Like when I took my brother to go see the Incredible Hulk, when Tim Roth was running through that field, I was hitting him. I was like, "That's what Captain America's gonna look like." And then because at the start of all that, and then like when the first Avenger came out, I like that movie. But Winter Soldier, I was like, you get to see him in his prime, dude.
Yeah.
Hold on, CJ, what'd you say about Dark Knight? You not a fan?
Not a fan.
You're
Fuck off. Battsauce. What's your opinion of the Dark Knight?
All right, so there are a couple of takes I have that are like kind of like it's the beginning of nihilism for a lot of people, I think, in the nihilistic age, and it was so well done that I don't think a lot of people realized how bad it was.
So it was so good, you don't realize how bad it was.
Well,
I'll give
you
an example. So
I have my criticisms about the whole Nolan verse, which I love, but I will say that is not definitive Batman.
All right, well,
Batman is Batman the animated series. That is Batman.
Right. Yes.
Right there.
Okay,
that's
so
fucking Batman.
The reason that I don't like The Dark Knight is that Batman. There's two reasons I don't like it. Okay, there's two big reasons I don't like it. First of all, Batman. It's kind of like the opposite of Watchmen on some level because Batman takes. Like at the end, he says that he's the one that killed all those people that Harvey killed so that he could keep Harvey Dent's reputation intact. Now, Batman's like first and foremost thing is that he's after the truth. He's after proper justice. This isn't actually justice. So he destroys justice to give the appearance of justice.
Well, see, all those people Harvey Dent put away would have gotten all of that work that they did, bringing all of those people down would have been, everything would have been undid. If
yes, but if
Batman would have figured a way around that.
Batman tells everybody that
Batman went the opposite direction of Rorschach. You're right.
Yes. So
he decided to take the lie and run with it to give the people hope
And
in the lie.
Yeah.
Well,
but
I mean,
because he didn't, that was the only way Joker would not fucking succeed in destroying society's hope.
But it's Batman. He would have figured out a way around
long building. You're right. There's a lot of holes. But
I think you were right. I think you'd be right if the Dark Knight's. I think you'd be right if the Dark Knight was a standalone film, but it led into Dark Knight Rises, so I think they pay that off. So it's like,
hey,
I'm just saying, Dark Knight.
Dark Knight Rises.
Thank you. It's better. I think it's way better than people give it credit for. There are definitely
better than the Batman.
Missteps.
Everything's better than Batman because the Batman was the biggest piece of shit in the world.
Well, here's the thing. I will say what made it.
Yeah. Wait, Battsauce. What'd you have? What are your thoughts on
the newer one? I mean, look, terrible casting, right? But the opening was pretty cool, and I like the idea of them going back to Detective Batman.
Yeah,
right. But they made him an
idiot. They made an idiot like Detective Batman can't detect that the guy was across the street from the camera angle on the picture.
Yeah. No, I agree. I like the idea of going back.
What could that ever be? A stool pigeon?
And
I don't know.
Yeah, that was so
fucking that, you retard.
You needed a much better writer to write a much more.
Okay, this does kind of tie into the second reason that I hate The Dark Knight is that ultimately Batman's like thematic like internal goal is to replace himself with Harvey Dent, and that's why on the end he ends up like taking on his sins as his own, is to like repay this selfish mistake that he's made. And it's a total like, I'm doing this thing for the right reasons, but they're also really selfish, and then Joker goes and ruins them, so now I have to fix them. And he doesn't willingly take up the hero thing. It's kind of like, this is the only thing that I can do. So, I said, the nihilism in it is extremely well done.
I gotta ask you, have you seen the greatest theatrical version of Batman ever made, which was Batman Mask of the Phantasm?
No, I don't. I think I've seen parts of it, but
you should watch.
That is the greatest, and I mean that movie is so good. You won't even register that it's animated. Like,
I like animated.
Story,
weird because it made no money.
Hey, I'll say something else
everything
about that
is Batman. like
How do
Chef's
Yeah.
Kiss.
How do we feel
Also-
about the Red Hood movie?
I love that one too.
the
Yeah, I like
first the first 3 episodes of Batman Beyond are absolute. Oh,
First three.
I like the whole season, but
First
that
three,
the
that's
first
nice.
couple, man, when it shows what happened with Batman and why he retired, when he had to pull the gun, when he pulled the gun, he looks at it and he just drops it and walks away, never again. I like that whole arc, the first arc. And I love Batman.
That
Beyond,
wasn't
but
even they have a whole animated sequence that was much darker.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't him doing it was actually him killing someone.
Oh,
instead of
damn.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's kind
It
of.
was
well,
he got pushed
well,
to a point where he couldn't he got into that fight or flight mechanism.
But he having a
So
heart
instead
attack.
of holding the gun, he actually just beat the motherfucker to death. And then was like, what have I done? Because he's always just, beat him into the point of, hospitalization.
Where's Joker?
Anybody else think
Probably,
the no kill rule is retarded?
Yes.
Okay.
No. I am
not
for
for-
I'm 100% on board with the no kill rule with exceptions.
Well, with
With
exceptions, there you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
I mean,
why the Joker? Come on, just
Yeah, how many times you gonna put him in jail from the gun and kill thousands upon thousands of people? You gotta cross that line. Sorry.
I mean, I'm cool with
okay,
it thematically
I see that
for
point.
like certain movies and stuff, but like overall,
Sure.
the concept
Oh,
is
dear.
retarded.
His is
I think I wish they would play around with the. I don't,
situation with Joker where the only outcome to stop him from doing something at that moment is to take his life. He would do it. Otherwise, no, because that's the only thing that keeps him grounded.
Yeah, because it would be
Yeah.
so easy if he did that the darkness would overtake him, man. That's what he said so many times. You know how
Would
you
it
know
though? Like
I-
people
I-
kill
I-
people all the time, and then
I
it's darkness
appreciate-
doesn't
I
exist
appreciate
necessarily.
that from a
The no kill
perspective.
Batman still kills.
I mean, look,
But
the
only
Red
if you
Hood
have-
movie proved that the no kill rule was retarded.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
like,
would agree with
you
that.
can't watch that and be like, wait, no, Batman's definitely right in
Yeah.
this. He's
But
like,
you also have
just
to
kill
also
him.
realize Batman, like, as a character, he's not right. He's not fucking. He's on the brink of sanity.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
little bit retarded with the no kill rule. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think as a personal character thing, that's interesting to play with.
Yeah,
But
I
on a
agree.
practical crime fighting level, it gets kind of dumb. It gets ridiculous.
And how many people
I
have died
understand-
from the people you arrested again?
Well,
Am I
well,
going to
let's go
say
along
the
with Discord because
the Punisher doesn't make more fucking sense than Batman? Being a massive Batman fan, yes, the Punisher makes more fucking sense. I'm just saying as a character and what
Yeah.
how
Yeah, that's a good
operates,
distinction.
and the only way
I think
he
if you
can
want my
operate
personal opinion on
mentally-
this, you just buy Discord the
Go
entire
for it.
run.
Go
Okay.
well, that's the thing. Well, that's the thing about Discord is that he has got a choice whether to beat the hell out of somebody or to maybe reason with them a little bit. And I like that because Batman has the same option. He can either because there are times, especially in the Batman the Animated Series, which makes that so amazing. He's got the opportunity to show some compassion, to show some kindness towards someone who is truly a nasty son of a bitch versus someone who just kind of a little bit on hard times and getting involved with some weird people just to make ends meet. I get that. So he doesn't just machine gun every goon. He
It
shows
does.
us some mercy sometimes, and
If
I
you
like
read
that. I
some
like
of the
that. I like
comics,
playing with
and
that.
they have alternate, like they show if Batman if Bruce is a person, just our normal baseline Bruce Wayne cross
Yeah.
that line, the fucking the snowball effect. Like he's not just going freaking Frank.
Okay,
Frank
okay. He
Castle.
gets PTSD. He has to quit being Batman. But we also have a mass murdering
he
Joker
goes-
off the streets. There you
Oh.
go.
He's not
There
just-
it is.
or Penguin.
There we go.
Crosses that line. He's not just killing Joker. He's killing Lex. He's killing Superman. He's killing
No,
Wonder.
no, he doesn't have to do
everyone.
that. He
No,
doesn't.
no, no.
have
Because
to.
Once-
he can't-
once
No, no,
cross-
here's the thing.
He can't
Hey,
stop.
cross
He's
that
a
line,
fucking.
yeah.
He's a.
What do you mean he can't stop? He can't like
He's an
resist
autistic
compulsion.
psychopath.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. That would be up. That would be up
kryptonite
for
in his-
writers to explore. I would like to see that. I would like to see a writer explore where does Batman stop if he stops,
have-
or there's a version
Yeah,
of Batman where he
I'm just
stops and
imagining
where he doesn't, or what are those? Where's the gray? Let's explore the gray area a little bit.
I'm just
I like the
imagining
idea.
a cop killing a rapist out of self-defense, and then him being like, "I can't stop. I got to kill more. I have to. I can't. I have to kill anyone who buys
Merry
coke." or
Christmas.
whatever."
I like
It's funny you
Batman
say that
better when
because
it's a
dude. That's actually happened. That has happened.
really.
Well, yeah, but like
yeah.
it doesn't
all
happen
right,
all
let's
the
make
time.
it happen more.
I know. I cheer these motherfuckers on. Like
he
well,
does
you
that
know,
enough, he's going to start weighing an equation
No,
in his
and they're
head as
actually-
if killing this person is going to help. And you wind up with like, what was it in the in Justice League? It was like the Justice Lords. Remember when Gotham, they were like the alternate universe.
Well,
But who's going to disagree that the Joker needs to doesn't need to die?
Nobody.
Who's going to disagree? with
And-
that? Nobody.
No, and
You're right
Yeah,
about
I
that.
think-
But like, we're
again,
not talking
that's
about
what-
like. Ooh,
we're
maybe,
we're
like,
also
maybe
talking.
this guy
We're
might
also
die.
talking about plot armor. Like if he, and issued not, he's just like, all right, well, you know what? Fuck this guy.
Well,
His rogues gallery would not exist if he actually did that, and we wouldn't have a story. But it's also just a way of explaining why is that he can't, because the kind of thing he would become would be worse than anything. Like the Justice League, none of them could fucking handle a off the chain
Rogue
Bruce.
Batman off the chain. He's smarter than all of
they
them put
you can
together.
handle like
Yeah.
in Injustice, you can handle fucking like they can figure out a contingency plan for fucking Kal-El all day long with kryptonite, different things. If you got Bruce in his right mind, you get a Bruce off the fucking chain once he gets a little bit of that blood in his system. He's
How you
fucking,
going to outthink Batman? And you can't.
I cannot imagine like in self-defense Batman killing Joker and then being like, I'm now going to become the worst.
Battsauce, I agree with you, bud.
Well, I do agree with
that's
that.
such a
Because
logic
they're-
leap. That's insane.
I'm
Well,
with you,
because
bud.
they're great. It's
100%.
not just
I
killing.
see
There's
what
only
you're
one type of killing. There's a bunch
Yeah.
of different types of killing. There's straight up murder. There's
Yeah.
also self-defense killing. There's also
Mhm.
killing in defense, like in war.
Mhm.
But there's also someone accidentally dies involved with me. But there's also maybe a gradation of someone dies as a direct result of what I do or what I intended to do. I meant to do him harm. I punched him too hard and it broke his neck, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That there are gradations to killing. And so I would love to see modern Batman comics explore a little bit more of that, because I like at the end of Batman Begins, I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. Play around, because obviously he's dealing with a mass murderer who's just going to do it again. So okay, I don't have to save you, but I'm not actively killing you.
It's kind of my problem with
that
comics.
could be
that
interesting.
Batman
you know?
had already killed so many people
I
at the
just-
fucking League of Shadows, and like I'm not going to kill this one murderer, so I'll kill.
He
all
hadn't.
my
He had.
friends
He
that
I
had.
I
think
grew
he
up with
killed
for the last
everybody up in
10
that
years.
cabin. I never
Yeah,
saw
he did
him when
blow
he
him
killed all those people.
He didn't mean to. He didn't know that there was gunpowder. He didn't know there's gun.
Oh,
that was an accident.
he knew. He's fucking Batman. Of course he knew.
But he's not Batman yet. So like, he just was there. He hit the brand out of the hit the brand out of.
He was Batman
discount-
by that point.
I'm
What are you
sorry,
doing? What is
Batman-
necessary, my friend?
Batman hits the piece of hot coal directly
He
into the
knew.
gunpowder to blow up everybody. Batman
But wasn't it in
did
bags? Does he? But did we establish that he knew that was there? Because he couldn't have
knew.
known. Well, I don't
Watch
know.
it again. Watch it
Man,
again.
has anybody else thought about
I will.
Hey,
Yeah.
has anybody else thought about the logistics of trying to build that fucking house on top of that mountain? Every time I look at it, I'm just like, man,
2 words: slave labor.
dude, that's crazy.
League of Shadows. That's perfect.
White privilege, right now.
right.
I mean, it's. I mean, you have. Don't you have like an entire group of Asian ninjas led by a
Here's
Scottish
the
guy?
thing, he didn't get the whole backstory of the guy he was supposed to execute. He was one of the fucking slaves made to build their fucking mountain house.
Yeah, he was like
No,
those
he did get the-
contract
he did
workers
get
on
the
the Death
backstory.
Star.
He did get the backstory. He said this man wanted his neighbor's farm, so he killed him and took it. It's like, what's going to happen to him? Justice, crime can't be tolerated, and so he knows exactly what the guy did. So I mean, I kind of think that at that point, yeah, I mean, what else is gonna come of him? I'll fight men like this, but I'll not become an executioner. Oh, come on.
Here's the thing. A Batman that
murderer.
kills makes a lot more sense. A Batman
agree.
that doesn't kill is a lot more fucking interesting. and
Until it's a
complex
retarded.
and just
Look, we're having this discussion right now over a character
Yeah.
that's been a.
As
Yeah.
much like the Red Hood is like one of my favorite movies of all time, but every time I watch it, I'm like, Batman's kind of retarded. Like, and so
Yeah.
I come away with it every
Those
time.
DC animated movies.
dude,
are
Red
so
Hood's
good.
one of my favorite characters too.
I
And
want to speak
Jason
to that
Claus
point
just
a little
like,
bit.
why
Those-
won't you fucking do this? I'm like,
Dude, those
why?
those
I
animated.
agree. Why
I
won't he?
want to jump in because yes, I was just talking about how like there's a fundamental misunderstanding of human nature, and a lot of what's happened since like the nihilism has been creeping in is that there is this the dehumanization that has gone on. And I mean, we see it play out in politics all the time. Like, if you can dehumanize your enemy, then yeah, it's okay to punch a Nazi,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, justifying if you can justify violence over stuff because the threat is so evil that you can. It's our duty to take out these Nazi fascist MAGA blah.
Yes, go force yourself, right? So the fact that Batman has a no-kill rule says to me that he has like some idea that the human soul and the human nature and the human itself is this being of infinite worth, even if it's used all its talents to harm and destroy others.
They just let the Red Hood kill him then.
One of his best friends was Harvey Dent.
Well, and that's part of just the chaos and the conundrums that fall
Batman
onto.
killed the Joker when he should have been killed, Jason Todd would never have been murdered in the first place. He was a child.
And Ra's al Ghul wouldn't have brought him back.
Well, there is a difference though between being judge, jury, and executioner all in one. That's something that I touch on in Discord. So
I just keep going. I kind of keep going back to Judge Dredd. I know the law. I am the law.
Y'all
And I
missing one
think that's
important
part of the
thing,
reason
though.
of the no kill aspect is that he possibly sees himself kind of going down like a track of him just looking at it going, you want to know what? I am the justice. I will administer all kinds of justice and I will be the executioner.
yes, and there is a difference between like giving the sentence of justice, like the fact that you have judge, jury, and
MSK coming in with hard facts.
thing is that thanks MSK.
Also, a good book is Batman and Judge Dredd. I have that one.
Well, I mean, like the fact that there is a judge, jury, and executioner kind of breakdown says to me that one human soul should not be like the fate of it should not be determined by one other person.
Right, but if you're
collective kind of majority and consensus.
If somebody's about to murder someone, which Batman's been in situations where somebody's about to murder someone, you can unalive them legally and under current laws and everything like that. That's not just that's we're protected with those rights, right? That you'd be saving a human life in that sense. He just goes to the extra super effort to make sure that they live, so they can potentially go to
Brain
prison and then just
damage,
keep escaping. And
wired
then
jaw, broken knees. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and there's that aspect of bodily harm, but the other thing too is like Batman is technically a vigilante. Like the justice that he enacts is within his own power, with his own resources at his disposal. The actual like job of putting down killers is like based on the society
Look,
rules.
man,
That
Gotham's
that's why
justice
police
system should have
officers
executed
being
Joker.
self-defense is
sorry.
different from Batman killing someone for.
Well, that's because Gotham is a liberal city that is against the death penalty.
There you go.
Maybe Joker go in there and like take out like the whole city government. Man.
Oh, he's done that.
You know what? On
Gotham
that
is
note, I
Chicago.
think we've had a really good discussion about everything tonight. We are rapidly approaching the 3-hour mark, which I
damn.
swear I'm never going to go to. Thank God Jack, the producer, isn't here tonight to scold us.
Be yelling at everybody. wouldn't he?
Wait, I'm not done with this no kill rule debate, all right? So point A, B, and C. Okay, guys, get ready. Okay, I'm not.
We just went off on a Batman tangent every now and then. That's good.
I go with C, 4 or
Well,
5
I mean, like,
moments.
when your
That's all
only
it takes to be a
alternative-
hero.
When your only alternatives to your
5.
discussion topics are Dustborn and the Acolyte. Are you sure that it's a bad thing that we went on a Batman tangent?
We gotta talk about something good for a little bit.
You know what's good? I'll show
Do you guys like Batman v Superman?
The director's cut is it's passable.
The director's cut's
Wait,
better.
Yeah, I've never seen the director's cut Batman v
every time
Superman.
I watched it.
It's better. A lot more things get explained, and a lot more things make sense. It's still not a great movie, but a lot more. It's better than the theatrical cut by a country mile.
So
I will agree that Ben Affleck does do a good Batman. But
Ben Affleck does a great.
Ben Affleck
Batman.
does, but you know who I've always thought would be a great Batman is John Hamm.
Yes,
Oh.
younger John Hamm would have been great.
My cast for like my dream of what they should do if they just completely redo the DC universe, make it a period piece taking place post World War I or even World War II. John Hamm, what's that kid, the Culkin kid from
Kieran
Succession?
Culkin.
Kieran Culkin
yeah.
is the Flash. John Hamm. Kieran Culkin is the Flash. The dude that plays the serial killer in You is Superman.
Oh.
Mel Gibson is Jonathan Kent.
Hell yes.
I think he would be a good
More
Tom
Mel Gibson
Cruise
and everything.
is Lex Luthor. And make the whole thing being a power struggle between a young Clark Kent moving into the city. He accidentally saves Lex Luthor, Tom Cruise, and he's being torn between becoming, what Lex wants and what John wants.
I
And
will say Tom Cruise would be a
in
great
a
Lex
20s,
Luthor.
30s, period piece setting. Anyway, let's look at this one more time before we wrap it
Okay, can I really quickly say something? Sorry.
Sure.
Okay, sorry. So one of the things too about superheroes in general for me is I think that you should be heroic in your day job too. And I love that Superman is like this really good journalist. So like whatever the flaws are of the different iterations, the fact that he goes out and he reports the news and he actually like does due diligence and everything and stuff, I like that. So
That's why I love Daredevil.
yes.
So
This kid is actually going to so in issue number 2, you find out he's going to college and he wants to be a child psychologist. And I think that's really great to have something that kind of complements that.
See, I like that too, but I also like the fact that Bruce has to put on an air of an incompetence in his. He has to come off as like the bumbling playboy douchebag, so that no one knows what he's really doing. He has to sacrifice, his own personal reputation. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Reputation.
Words are hard.
What? But, I mean, like, on some level, though, is like, what would he be otherwise? Like, I mean, Batman fits in really well with the idea that he just has a lot of toys and he's got money from his fake persona. I mean, Clark Kent has to pretend to be like a normal human being.
Right. No, and that I do see that. Yeah.
So I brought up Batman v Superman because on a show that I co-host, the Iron Seas, we do a poll every week for what movie we're gonna watch to kind of like review and talk about. This week was Snyder Week. I put up Batman v Superman. Of course, it didn't win, but 300 won. But yeah, I kind of just want to bring that up. A lot of people not big fans of it.
Dude, I'm actually a pretty big fan of BVS.
Oh yeah, you should have voted for it.
I like it. I do. It's not great, but I like it.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
Good things
Visually, it's good, and the director's cut storytelling, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
The thing is, Zack Snyder, I mean, the dude peaked at Watchmen. It's like he should have just
the Martha part was just so bad, and the Lex Luthor interpretation was
horrible,
just absolutely horrible.
Yeah,
like there's so much wrong with it, and then the Batman v Superman, or sorry, the Dark Knight Returns animated movies were just like so much better.
Yes.
Every way.
No, and I want a Lex that is almost a fatherly figure to Clark.
Yeah.
That portrays him kind of that, you get that kind of Shakespearean aspect of it.
Yes.
And seeing that's why, like, my idea would be taking place in the 40s and him being pulled, and even Lex being the one that pushes him into being Superman to begin with. But then John Kent being the one that pulls him back down to earth and makes him actually, you know, being a hero, not a fucking tool for others, you know, their ambitions.
Well, I think that would work. I do think that Superman in general is like a figure that aspires to heroism. Yeah. And I don't think like discouraging him from not being a villain, or like discouraging him from being a villain. Yeah, there we go. Is different. It's still different take on it. It's still slightly more cynical.
What about the movie?
He has to be like, even when he's messing up, he has to be doing it for him naively almost thinking it's for the right reasons, and then coming to the, you know, that realization that he's not, you know. But overall, he has to be a virtuous, good character overall, without any, you know, that there can't be any slip there.
Right.
Yeah, talk about no kill rule, man. He just wanted to kill Superman for like not a really strong reason.
Yeah, that was fucking retarded.
And
so that's what I'm saying. Like,
killing-
what about the movie was like positive?
Well, and he was
sense.
killing everybody else around him, because like machine gunning a truck, collateral damage is going to be through the roof at that point. And it did. He actually crushed a couple people. He actually saw it. It's kind of insane. I kind of loved it though. It was like, hey, angry Batman. This is what angry Batman looks like. I don't hate it.
No, it looked great. The movie looked great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was not. And that's not Batman isn't just like, oh, you know, fucking there's an alien here, I'm gonna fucking kill. Like,
3 hours. Let's go.
Yep.
All right, here we go. We'll wrap it up. Let's
Really, we
take
could
a
talk
quick
about
look.
this a lot longer.
Introducing Discord, Atlanta's newest superhero, from award-winning author C.S. Johnson. With musical powers that enable him to hear the unique song of each individual's soul, Discord has spent the last decade honing his skills and training to take down his father's killer. But Discord isn't just fighting for justice. He's also using his powers to go after human traffickers and put an end to their heinous crimes. Get this 30-page full-color comic today.
You can get both of them now.
Awesome stuff. Everybody should go get that. I'm actually gonna order it, and I'm gonna get the way I can get issue 1 and 2 this Friday when I get paid.
Well,
and
I appreciate this.
before we go, lest we forget.
Human heart that stands tall, frozen visage cold as ice. With the evening star he flies through the storm, haunting Christ.
Power of the frozen lands, king's own vow placed within his hands. Succession, destiny calls. In the twilight he stands.
Hear the horn sound so clear. Hear the war cry, no regrets. Every fight brings destiny nearer. The saga of sunset. Saga of sunset.
South fields of frost and flame, in his sonorous fire and pain. On his path, the legends claim the echoes of his name.
Mountain peaks his eyes survey, northern sun's fate to pray. Kingdom calls a break of day. You claim this boldness, come with me. Hear the horn sound so clear. Hear that war cry, no regrets. Every fight brings destiny nearer. A saga of sunset. Saga of sunset. Saga of sunset.
bunch of characters that also agree that the no-kill rule is retarded. Plenty of that.
I will say Luke is
They're
really
Vikings,
great too, so he's really talented. He did Discord's very cover. So
Oh, nice.
Cool.
yeah.
What I'll say about both of these things, I would like to see both of these works in animation, if not live action. So this is what it's all about. Is one creator can't fight the mainstream alone. Like Rippaverse isn't gonna fucking kill Disney, or I'm sorry, Marvel and DC. It's just not gonna happen. But little by little, all of these different projects that are just gaining speed and are just so fucking cool can actually build up the momentum and compete. And one of them, like it could easily be either one of these two or anything else that we've seen recently become that next thing to just go viral and take off and become, as long as the creator doesn't completely sell out and, give away all, give it all away for nothing, for Hollywood, it could happen.
Yeah,
you know the Aragon movie?
Yeah.
/book? Man, that guy went deep depression with how much they jacked up his stuff.
Yeah, it was sad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, I actually have several books. This is my first comic book series, but I mean, I can tell you just from walking a similar path as Christopher Paolini. My parents weren't in the industry, so I'm just down on that part. But it is really tempting some days to sell out because I have pitched to Hollywood before, and it's really frightening on some level. And they when they're feedback and they ask you questions, it's like, well, how much can I compromise, to get this made? And it's it does take a lot of work to say, no, I don't want that.
No.
So when I was pitching my Starlight Chronicles series, okay, you have to understand this is set in a lot of it was inspired by my high school drama. And I tell people all the time, I started writing because it was in lieu of therapy, and I just happened to be good enough that it didn't suck. And they were trying to make it was very much one of those, it was almost like those memes where it's like, we need these guys to be edgier. And it's like, I live this, this is mostly a reflection of my high school experience. Nobody was that edgy. Nobody's coming to school shooting up on drugs and laughing about it. Kind of edgy. And it's for teenagers. So there's no excessive, mature stuff in there that they don't even worry about, and hearing their feedback was really demoralizing. Nobody's going to want this because it doesn't have drugs and sex.
Well, we all want that.
Yeah, it's not true. Yeah. It's bunch of non-buyers or non-readers making decisions on what the story should be.
It's so funny that they would make that hey, your thing as it is extremely popular and people like it. Sell it to us so we can turn it into something completely different.
Yeah, ego.
Yes,
but we'll give you a lot of money for it.
Yeah. Just come sell your soul to me.
No.
I've had multiple people tell me it's really just too more or less too safe, and it's well, it's supposed to be exciting, but it's exciting in its own way, and it's just not, like I said, it's not blood, sex, and drugs.
Oh man.
So yes, that's why I wrote Fat Girl. It's that's definitely never gonna get made. So
never say die.
Yeah. The thing is, the pendulum is swinging, and Hollywood's dying, the mainstream is dying, and people are, they're putting their money elsewhere. And the more that happens, and if people just stop the bullshit infighting, you know what I'm talking about. Battsauce knows what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
All the faggotry. Then
I like that.
Yep.
maybe you should say fagantry, because it's pageantry in its own way.
Ah, pageantry. I like that.
Nah, that's
Because
too
it is.
gay.
It is.
It's such a great word. It's such a multi-use word, man. You know, you got it as a noun, as an adjective, as a verb.
I used to be a teacher. I think in learning how to make up new words is important.
As we are wrapping up for this evening, and Darnell, don't be obliged to say, man, I saw in the chat you're getting a little spent. You can peace out whenever you're ready. You don't feel bad about it. But we gotta talk to
before the bangers. That's all I know.
We gotta talk to Vagabond, man on the town.
Oh man,
what's up? Where you been?
Much.
What you been doing?
Just came back from the Megadeth concert with
yeah,
with all the Phil's band was there, a Mudvayne, and I didn't have to go all the way to Atlanta, which was awesome.
Yes, that is awesome. Graphic yourself.
Yeah.
And Phil was also following me back after I posted a picture with him. Well, I didn't post a picture with him.
Fucking nice, dude.
Cool.
Good. Get that clout so I can feel it one day.
Hey, Vagabond, when are you going to get Phil on this show?
I don't know. I could try to see what I could do, but probably talk to him or something.
Well, I'm sure CS Johnson will be ready and waiting when that happens.
Oh yeah. So
she'll be on the show just like, "Hi, Phil."
So Phil of all that remains performed. So Phil from All That Remains opened up first, right at 6:30. After that, it was Mudvayne, and then last was Megadeth, and then they went through a lot of their songs, which was awesome. And so it just finished like not even 30 minutes ago, and it's a 20-minute drive home to where I was, so it wasn't that bad.
Nice.
Hey, did they do Police Truck?
Yes.
I love that song, man. Ever since Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, man, and I was listening to the new Megadeth album, and I heard that, and I was like, "Wait a second, it's the song from Tony Hawk, man."
But yeah, if they're coming near you, I recommend going. My venue, the drinks were expensive. Just a small can of alcohol was like $18. I was like, dang, I should have drank in the parking lot and came in.
Yeah, it's hard times for struggling alcoholic, you know.
Motherfucker, even if you're not drinking, it's like $16 for a Coke, $12 for a water.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper. I'm a Dr. Pepper fanboy. So Dr. Pepper was like $5 for. It was basically almost $6 for a bottle of Dr. Pepper.
Yikes!
Shit, fire.
Something like this at a ball game be like $16.
Oh, I believe it.
Insane. Because they can.
Well, man, I'm glad to hear that you've secured Phil Labonte for Rogues Gallery. You've heard that here, folks. Vagabond has secured Phil Labonte of All That Remains for the Rogues Gallery in the upcoming future.
Yeah, we have to see you.
If he doesn't come on, we'll just say he went out for some milk.
All right, I'm gonna get out.
Right.
Sorry, Darnell. That's
all right. Hey, Darnell, man, thank you so much for filling in, dude. Do you have anything you want to plug before you go?
From Friday Bangers in a few minutes. I am co-hosting with Selena.
Shit, I'm supposed to be on that too.
That's what I was trying to. I figured you were coming. That's why I was trying to get you backstage. Like, hey. I'm co-hosting with Selena, Mr. Burger's Wednesday night quiz show.
Yep.
And Monday, Tuesday with MSK on in the Iron Man podcast and Top G's Wednesday night. So.
Cool. Are you a Pitch Black Riddick fan?
Yeah, it depends how I feel that day.
Not enough. You can go.
Yeah. Right.
We're only looking for the hardest of hardcore fans.
It's been a while since I've seen it. I'll tell you that.
You failed the sniff test, sir. You may go.
All right, guys. Go take it easy.
Later, buddy.
Dude.
Later.
What's hilarious is Vagabond was in the back saying, "You might want to let Iron know that I'm here," and I just wrote in that private chat, "Hey, Vagabond's here. Like you couldn't read him typing in there, and then I realized what I'd done. And I was like, what the shit?
Here's the thing, man.
God.
Me and the private chat is my worst enemy. That is like Selena is screaming at me the whole time, every show. Jack, I think, wants to kill. I don't even think Jack likes me anymore. He's not even here tonight. He's just like, no, I got things to do. Fuck off.
Well, liking you is probably a thought.
I'm gonna go record album for the Beatles.
I don't appreciate your fake English accent impressions.
They all sound like
they sound
why
like a
is everybody? Yeah, this is complaint last week.
I'm not even
Why
gonna try.
fucking love Jack.
Why
but
does
yeah,
everybody think I sound like a Beatle?
He's probably sick of my bullshit. I'm not good with the private chat. I'm not good at hosting a show. But then again, I'm just doing this for fucking fun. So fuck off.
Obviously, I'm not that good with it either because I just respond to the private chat.
You're better than me. You just proved it.
We all have our areas of expertise.
That's only because it opened by default with the private chat open, and I just left it there.
Let's wrap it up. We'll start with my guest co-host tonight, who I hope will be back as often as you want, man. Honestly, Battsauce, what do you got going on, dude?
All right. I got plenty, man. Like I said, I co-host the show Tuesday nights, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. It's called the channel called Iron Seas. I highly recommend it. It's a drama-free show. We usually talk about a movie for the week, and we typically have a guest creator or something like that. And we also just talk about story writing in general as topics. It's a lot of fun. We have a blast. Just check out any of our live shows, especially last week's. That was great. Did a blast on that. Besides that, I do like indie reviews, story writing, topic stuff on my own channel. And then my live show on Wednesday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern. I do my Batcave show, which I typically talk about like news and, as of lately, drama. So, yeah, highly recommend that as well. It's fun. I'll be talking about Tony this week and some of the shit he's saying. I mean, he opened the door, and also he just, man, like, oh man, have you seen the unicorn comic image shared by my alt account? No, I take it as no. Don't worry about it. Watch my show, you'll find out. It's hilarious.
Sounds gay.
Yeah, it is gay. Yeah. Yeah, that's me.
All right, dude. Well, I hope to have you back again, man. Drunken Emerald Arrow, what do you got going on?
Friday banger in about minute and a half.
All right. Well, goodbye. Strider, same thing. Are you going on MSKs here in a few seconds?
I'm going to bed. I am dead tired. It's been a long week. But follow me at my new account below, known as Strider. Yes, I did say ass, and I didn't mean to. But my old account got nuked, so
known as Strider.
Yes,
that's right.
Yeah, it's we joked last week is the assistant to regional Strider. But yeah, just doing that and then causing havoc up on Twitter. Try not to get banned again, but that won't happen again. I'm learning my lesson. But I won't be on. Yeah, that wasn't fun. I had Air July as a follow. That wasn't fun to lose, but it's okay. I was my own dumb fault. I wasn't smart, but it's okay. So gonna be doing. Oh well, actually no, I'm not gonna be on Curse of Strahd next weekend. I'm going to be gone for Labor Day, so that's going to be fun. And then I'm moving right after that, so I'm not going to be absent for a little bit. But just trying to make whenever I get CJ's comics in paper form, I'm going to review them. So that'll be fun. Yeah, I need to get back into making more videos. Life has been kind of weird, so just putting that just kind of putting that on the back burner. But eventually, I will eventually do a Gooding review. I promise. Yeah, just enjoying life for right now, and find me on here every Friday, and also an MSK show on Mondays. Curse of Strahd every other week.
All right, and our special guest, CS Johnson. Do you have any appearances coming up or anything going on?
So I've got Discord 2 up on Kickstarter and Fund My Comic, and in general, I just usually have writing stuff that I do. So I have finished Discord 3's script, and I've got 4 and 5 outlines, so it's almost done.
Nice. Well, you're always welcome back here, and if we have room, I will shoot you the invite. And don't feel bad about saying no, but if you ever,
I have 2 children, and I love them, and they're upset with me every time I go on podcasts because it means I won't suck them in and stay up all night answering their questions. So,
oh well, we're your kids now. So,
oh well, I did a terrible job raising you then.
You've done a horrible job.
Thanks a lot, Mom. That's why I
must have gone out for the milk a few times.
Damn it, Mom.
Thank God MSK isn't here, because this conversation could have gone a whole different direction that we don't want it to go. Diesel, what do you have going on? Let's.
I'm probably going to go on MSK show tonight too. Cool.
All right, cool. What else you got going on specifically Sunday?
Space Jockeys. We're going over Pitch Black and The Chronicles of Riddick. So if you dig those movies, man, we're gonna just probably ramble incoherently for a couple of hours and talk about how we dig them, man.
Awesome. Yes. And if you are watching and you're a fan of those movies, shoot me or Diesel a DM, and we may just have you on as a guest. Vagabond, just getting back from the concert.
Yeah, I got another stream 3 a.m. at my time, which would be 12 a lot of other people's time. I'll be on the Bezel Pub this morning. So
shit, so am I.
So I'll be trying to stay awake by then. Other than that, courtesy of Alec Baldwin's finger, he has a 200% accuracy. I might be working on a driving VR stream pretty soon.
Nice.
And then next week I'll be gone. Maybe I might try to make a cameo on Friday. I'll be hanging out with Chris Gore at Dragon Con for 5 days straight. It's a 24/7 nerd Mardi Gras pretty much in downtown Atlanta.
Yep.
Nice, dude.
Safe for kids of all ages.
I will send you the links just in case you can make an appearance. That'd be a lot of fun. Anyway, you guys can catch us next week, same time as usual, 5:30 p.m. PST on the weekly Rogues Gallery. You can check Iron Oxide just like it's spelled above for updates on other shows as well. Space Jockeys is Sundays. I'm about to go to MSK's, then to Beelzebub, then probably drink a knife. Good night, everybody.
I'll be back.